Hattie. Oh yeah, Layla, she hates her Hattie. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she hates the Hattie. Oh yeah. She hates the Hattie.
Can you save us, Britney Spears? Can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunning linguists, good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically, good guys. Conspiracy, sex, culture, making it's okay to change your thinking, good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys. The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunning linguists, good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically, good guys. Conspiracy, sex, culture, making it's okay to change your thinking, good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys.
Big up, big up, big up. Happy Friday night and welcome to the first episode of Secret Society of Good Fridays. And we are your Good Fridays. So hi, Good Fridays. How are you?
What's up? How you guys doing?
I wish I could remember who said that to me online or who I could give credit to for giving me that. I always feel like anytime anything's in my brain, if I don't give credit to the person, I'm always like a little guilty. I want everybody to know that. It's something like I'm just kind of working with, like just going through life of being like, I don't remember where it comes from. Sometimes people just have conversations and not remember where the thing came from. But sometimes I feel like everything is just like, this is incredible information. I have to tell you Layla told me this incredible information. Abbie will be like, I told you it, you bitch. Anyways, hi you guys. How are
What's
you?
up? Good.
Welcome back, Layla.
What's up, guys? I'm alive.
Do you want to fill the audience in on your journey?
Yes.
I don't ever. I always feel like it's up to you
Yeah.
on how personal you
Yeah,
want to
so
get with anything.
I'm alive. I had an infection in my tooth here, and I woke up one morning and, it was like a little swollen. So I went to the ER and they gave me pain medication, antibiotics, anything that I needed to like bring the swelling down and the pain go away. So I came home, they fed me some medication at work, at the hospital. Sorry, my brain is still a little fried. At the hospital, and they gave me antibiotics, came home, took my medication, and I woke up the next day and my whole entire face just like blew up. And then I went to the ER and they did some blood work and they said they needed to do emergency surgery because it was in my blood. So they put me under surgery, removed the infection, removed the tooth, And yeah, they put me on tons of antibiotics and medication, and I was gone for a little while, but I'm here. I was in bed. I was under anesthesia. Thought I was dying at one day. One day I was having a panic attack. Kind of felt like my soul was raped. It was weird. Like I didn't feel right. It was just such an awful feeling. I'm never doing or going under ever again, unless I have to, like life or death. Because I did not like it. Waking up, it was just weird.
Have you guys ever been put under with anesthesia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twice.
How was your experience?
I don't remember them.
No?
Yeah, I was one of those people that you wake up and you're like, so when's it going to start? And they were like, we finished about an hour and a half ago.
That's
Yeah.
what I remember them going, count backwards from 5. And I was like, 5. And that's all I remember. And then I woke
Oh,
up.
they didn't
And
do that to me. I was by
But
myself.
Thomas is kind of cute too, where Thomas has one of those blood faint things, don't you?
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if I ever get kidnapped and they want to torture me, then I guess you know how to put the pressure right on immediately. But I'll start, if someone shows it, or if even you start like describing it, I'll start to taste it.
Thomas, it's for
Like the
some reason it looks like you have fake tits on like that, like the lady.
he does.
Oh my God.
Thomas, I was like,
In honor of?
yeah.
What's her name's husband?
No, transgender month, no?
Well,
No,
It's all about visibility.
what's her name? Her husband like came out like as transgender and he like had the big old pictures of the nipples.
Oh, yeah.
It's not transgender. It's called bimboification, and it's its own thing.
dude, when at first I really thought like I had just watched all this
I
weird
didn't see
special effects shit on different movies and like when certain special effects things first happened in movies. And I was like, and I really think sometimes like a lot of my lady friends don't know how much I'm common, the man side of my brain that's just like tits, 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 tits. And so when Thomas, I was like, is Thomas growing tits right in front of me right now? No, Chaney, stop thinking about tits. Like, and then he totally was. So
Had no
weird.
whatever.
So much more attention. I've never had as much attention as when I started doing this.
That's what I did too, Shepard. I thought it was just a weird camera angle. Like, is he getting fish-eyed? Like, is he about to go to the moon? Is he getting a fish-eyed lens on me? That shit was so stupid. Like what my brain was thinking the whole time.
Ooh, look at that. Sounds so cool.
I couldn't see it because the black kind of like fades away, you know, like it.
Yeah, you know what? Miss Gnome has much better style sense because she makes sure that there's like a light pastel that can capture the shadows and the angles and everything.
I'm crying.
It's a journey. I'm only a few steps into my journey right now.
Christy.
Looks like you got a third nipple right there with your eye.
Here, wait, I gotta pull him up for everyone. So if you don't know what we're talking about at all with I didn't know it was called bimboification though. So we always learn something new on
It's
the
its
show.
own thing. Don't be ignorant.
Don't be ignorant about it. So this is Christy Gnome's husband.
Oh God, look at her form though. Her form is just impeccable.
This is wild.
It is a crazy one, and there's like
That
apparent-
dog is
I can make mine
confused.
do that.
Look at the dog, bro.
He's like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, are you like even the dog knows this is not normal?
The dog's
Get
like,
the fuck out of here with
are
that
we about to play
shit.
fetch?
That dog
Like, I
got
get
got.
it. I get it. I get
That
why you
dog
would want
totally got
them. They're
doxed.
beautiful. But like, come on, bro.
That dog is no longer with us, unfortunately.
That dog.
That's a dog calm. Dog
That's-
calm.
Thomas, if you had tits, would you just like look at them and play with them all day?
I feel like you at first, but then you'd kind of get bored. I don't know.
They would
Like if
just.
you were a woman for a day?
Oh, for a day? No, yeah, that's probably it. It wouldn't get boring after a day.
Yeah.
Here's a question. What would you do if you were a woman for one day? What would be the goal? I want to ask every man this question as like my thing. I just want to pick their brains. What would you do?
I'd want to go to Italy and maybe go on a yacht.
Oh,
I feel like
I
that's
like your
unattainable
answer.
for me right now as is,
a
but if
fucking
I
man,
was the right
y'all.
kind of girl, I could make that happen.
All right.
I like
That's a
that.
really interesting take on it.
I mean,
'Cause I
if
feel
I only
like,
get a day, right? What are you
yeah,
really going to get accomplished in one day?
I know if I was a man for a day, I'd be like practicing writing my name and stuff while I peed. I'd be doing stuff.
That's the top of it.
It really is, yeah.
I
Like
think
standing and peeing for sure.
I
I think
think
you
I'd like
overestimate how much control there really is.
Ugh.
I
You know, I tried when I was like 4 and I made a mess and I got in trouble. So
They
If I
make
was a man, I'd just
appendages,
take a
don't they?
jog at night.
if I were a man,
oh, right?
I would just take a night run. Like I would just leave my house at like 10 p.m. and maybe just sweats on, maybe just shorts and my tennis shoes and no shirt at 10
Walk
and just
behind
run out of
women.
my house.
Stalk 'em.
I would probably
You're
I
a
don't
man,
know.
you become creepy immediately. I'm just, I'm like, I just
Ultimate
want these
litmus
little
test.
sovereign things. I would park in the parking garage in the weird dark corner.
Yeah, no kidding. Gosh.
I'd park in the far off spot at the grocery, not even by a light.
I don't know what I'd do if I were a man. I don't
I
know.
masturbate a lot. You ain't gonna lie about that
No,
one.
I don't know.
I know I would. I have to experience it. Well, I don't know. I might be kind of freaked out by looking down there and seeing that.
Do you
No,
think
I
it's
would
funny?
probably want to know what they feel, but it's
Yeah.
probably I don't know.
One of the MMA fighters that I
Probably
follow,
treat a woman
Corey
really well.
Sandhagen,
Take
he
her out.
was talking about how, like, if he has a bad dream at night or if there's a weird noise, he goes, "I'll scoot closer to my wife." And I just like that he's like one of the deadliest men on the planet, and I'm like, that's real.
Guys can
That's
get jumped at night too, you know.
Yeah, that's real talk.
Maybe it's just not safe for anyone to be out at night.
Because why?
Ooh, with thunder.
Guys
Man.
get jumped too.
Yeah, but not by a bunch of women ever.
Ever.
No, well, no. Yeah, it's still other guys, but still, you gotta be scared of them. It's not like they're not gonna pick on you just because you're a guy. Like if there's no women around, they're gonna be like, well, I guess that's the next best thing. We'll go harass that guy.
Oh my gosh, it has been the craziest week. Have you been so excited, Thomas? I know you're a big NASA fan.
I like space.
I do
honestly,
too. It's nostalgic.
I hate the pictures that they put out.
Yeah, it's cool to look at.
We'll
It's
pull
like-
all of them up. I did go to the launch, not to the launch, but to the my town. It's like my door is 45 miles from the launch pad, like as a crow flies. But it was cool and nostalgic how much people cared. I didn't think anyone SpaceX goes off all the time and no one says anything, you know? It was like people really cared about this. They were all out there. The park was filled and it was really touching.
Well, because this one got a little bit of a PR campaign. I think it's roughly the equivalent of when Marvel comes out with a new movie. It's just that NASA doesn't maybe have as much of the marketing budget, or they don't spend as much of it as Marvel does on marketing.
Why were people crying about it though? Like actually like in tears.
Did they get worked up?
Yeah, I didn't cry, but I really felt like some
News
sense
anchors.
of you guys know I'm a cynic. I don't even believe in space or anything. But I don't believe in every movie while I'm watching it, but sometimes I get into the movie and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so
Yeah.
sad that dog died." So getting into the movie of this and leaning into the LARP and the Americana of it, even my head of hearing JFK in my head, we go to the moon, not because it is easy, but because it is hard. And there is some part of that does make me feel like in all of our Bigfoot truckness and all of our mud flaps and our don't tell Americans what to do. We all have a little bit of that in us where it's don't tell me what
Yeah.
to do. And so I don't even believe in the whole thing, but I believe in the spirit of whatever it is to do something that's unattainable.
I'll put my 2 cents in on it too, because I don't want to take a firm side one way or the other, because it's more fun to play between the two. But I will say that the way that they are able to sell a certain vision of what it represents, it was a space race, right? It wasn't just don't tell America what not to do. It was also, hey, we got to get there before Russia gets there or before anyone else gets there. And for whatever reason, whatever the psyop is, the world more or less universally agrees that it was America that won whatever that race was about. So whether that race was about actually making it to the moon, or if the race was who can set up the best PR machine that can convince the world that we made it to the moon, either one of those, America still won, right?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. The nostalgia war. Like like China as a whole country, they're not like, we love Russian pop culture. Like no other country gets the big uppins by any other country's pop culture.
There's been a change in that over the last like decade or two though for like K-pop and J-pop.
I feel like
those are
they've really
trying to
it.
be things.
It feels so fraudy. Like they're like, this is the most listened to thing. Everybody knows this K-pop band. But when I ask around, nobody knows or listens or... So I don't know. And I have younger, like a whole genre of age people that I know. So it's not like just a bunch
Well,
of
you know what that
boomers
is?
like me.
Is that's like a tiny little niche of people. I don't want to say elite, but it operates the same way that like a little tiny niche, because for whatever reason, the people really into K-pop and J-pop and all of that, and even like anime at some levels, they're in control of huge portions of media, like all the comic reporting sites, all of the TV and like pop culture sites. A lot of them have roots in sort of like this anime like niche culture, so they can make it seem like it's way more prevalent. Like awards can be given out and it's like, oh, where the hell have I been? Like, who the hell is this demon hunter that gets like their own McDonald's sauce or whatever?
That's where I did just see that. Like there's big advertising in my town, like by the highway, because I went to the airport twice in the last few days. That's probably where I saw it, that I'm like, how do I know there's a bunch of McDonald's demon hunter shit? That's probably where I saw it.
And that's a result
to
of that,
Orlando.
like a tiny little niche category that happens to be overrepresented in media, sort of like reporting on itself.
There's so much fucking fun stuff to talk about this week. I don't even know how to splinter my brain. I feel like
Artemis, the name.
I know I'm gonna pull up just NASA right now.
My favorite Artemis of all. You know which one it is. She's
So
so hot.
NASA like posts the first pictures of the Earth from the Artemis 2 or whatever. And this is what got me. Every picture of the Earth on the NASA website, and you can look, says that it's a composite. So now all of a sudden it's not a composite photo. You got a full
No, it's still
photo
a
of the Earth?
composite. I
Oh,
searched
okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay,
It
I was
says
gonna say.
composited.
I was gonna say,
The brand new one to the right is composited still.
Uh-huh.
yeah, because they can't take
You
a
can
picture
search
of
it. Just put it in the ChatGPT or
Oh yeah, you can take a picture of the moon.
Grok,
Exactly.
and it'll tell you that it's a composite and it needs to be because blah 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 blah.
I mean, if you really want to get like annoyingly philosophical about it, but if I were to take a picture of anything with my phone right now, if you want to get like pedantic with the definitions, it would be a composite image, because it's not actually capturing the image as it is. It's going through a bunch of different digital processes and then like picking the best chunks of each step and then putting all those together to make like this ideal end result. And it's just a few steps removed from what every other camera on the planet does now that's digital.
Well, look at the size of Australia. You see it? How is it possible that it keeps changing size? Like, look at Australia over there, and look at Australia
Well,
over there.
one of them's Africa.
No, that's Australia.
No, to the left is Africa.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive. Because see, like,
I
and
don't
then
think
to the
so.
right is Australia.
Hold
But then
on.
somebody told me the one to the right today was Africa too. And I was like, oh.
No, that's New Zealand.
Well, the one on the left for sure, because if you look at the very, very top, that's basically Egypt.
Yeah, Egypt. You can see the Mediterranean right at the tippy tip top.
Hold on.
But my thing about the image to the right that is just weird to me. If the sun is lighting up the other side that much, where's nighttime? And so if it's a shutter speed that's open for X amount of time, that it can gather the blue of the ocean's light at our nighttime, it's using the reflection of the moon to get the light. And how long did the shutter speed have to be open? And like, this is kind of like the clouds movement in said time. Like, I don't know what the shutter speed is to know that, but it's just crazy to me to get that bright line on one side and then the other side, no darkness. It's like they're trying too much. Like, NASA, why don't you just put even the GoPro pictures, I'll pull up the other ones where they're like, we're outside of here's the tail end of the spacecraft and there's Earth behind us. It's like, do you have an arm that's like 22 feet long that's coming out of the front enough all the way around to the side of your module to take a picture of the tail of your module in it too, as opposed to just having something that's forward and backward so we can see you going up and see you going down? Like, some of the things, like, just logically don't make sense of like, why are they doing it this way?
You know how we have cop cams to make sure that cops are accountable for like whatever they're doing on the job because it's taxpayer money and everything?
Yeah.
Like, how come we can't have cop cams on satellites? Like, if you're gonna put the satellite out there and it's got
I'm not asking for a lot.
money, like, put it up as a live feed and make sure that anyone can connect to it, or just have it like publicly streaming all the time. So every single time they go out in the space, if even like a penny from taxpayer money was given to it, then we got to have some way of being able to benefit from it, like, directly.
FYI, Abbie just texted me, said power outage, major thunderstorm. So I don't know how long she's going to be away.
Oh no, I hope she comes back. I didn't even see that she was gone.
I hope it's just a thunderstorm.
I hope it's just a thunderstorm and not a twister. She is in a weird part of the country for that. Here's another thing too. So if your shutter speed was open for a certain amount of time to get this picture, is there a glare on it? Are they taking it from inside to put that weird light across the earth like that? And like taking it from inside, so wouldn't that mess with the shutter speed, that bright light would become a bigger blur? Like, just some things of photography seem weird. Another weird question. We're told that we have so much space trash, that it's just littered up there, so much satellites, so many things, but not one here.
Yeah, but also, like, it's not like you can tell that the Earth on the right has any pollution whatsoever on the entire Earth, even though there's like a significant amount of pollution.
And here is the last thing.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, well, here, there's so many things, like, as I just keep picking it, of what they say to what it is.
It looks like a drawing. I'm sorry. It looks like fucking computerized. Both of them. Like, it's bullshit. It's so bullshit.
Well,
Like,
and I guess the rub too is is there any visual that NASA could ever produce that would make a naysayer change their mind?
Yes.
Because here's for me, sometimes I was thinking about this. When they were going away the whole entire time, I don't like, we always have these rockets pointing away instead of a rocket pointing toward. Always. Every time. They never put a rocket facing up toward the point of the tip of the rocket. We're always going backward toward the smoke of the rocket, which is crazy. Another thing is, if they're coming out of Earth, if like this, for example, let's take either of these pictures. If they're coming from Earth, why would it be hard to get some super zoom lens? Because we see how close people can zoom from Earth to the moon and get pictures. And so if they're coming from it, I want them to zoom in so they can zoom in on somebody upside down. I want to see the people upside down. I want them to zoom in, and on the bottom of the planet, there to be people upside motherfucking down. I think this is an easy thing if their concept of... And it just feels so crazy too. Like, I feel like this is some of the first, like, this and dinosaurs is the first thing I can remember in my brainwashing. In my Rockefeller education, it's this, space shit, and dinosaurs. And so it's just like maddening to me that I just think it'd be so simple. Like, take any 10-year-old and ask any 10-year-old, hey, what could we do to prove this is real to you? And a 10-year-old could come up with 10 ideas that NASA hasn't done yet. And it's just infuriating.
But even if, let's say they provided all that and they took a Polaroid and they did all that, couldn't all of that be easily digitally reproduced too?
True.
Like
I
every
want to
single
go
every form
and
of
take
for
me
like
to the moon.
I mean,
aside from like sending you
everything.
there, but if you don't believe that you can go to space to begin with, then that would almost sound like an invitation for a death trap or something.
But I would just think in general, the more footage that you had of anything, the better. Like, why wouldn't you think of this originally 50 years ago? These stupid things aren't like technology, they're common sense things. So let's have them golf on the moon. Let's make sure we make room for the golf club on the module, but they don't make room for the cameras. Like, some of this shit just seems like
Well, here's the other thing
stunts.
too, is that right now
I'm getting irritated thinking about it.
being able to send
I was
something
getting
out
real loose right now in my head. Like, these motherfuckers.
sending something out into space right now is like heavily regulated, right? So if they made a way that anybody as like a science project for like $300 or something, you could send your own camera and your own feed and everything out into orbit and be able to stream the entire thing. If you could do that in mass so that thousands of people or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people all start doing that, then you actually get like a lot of different data points. But right now it's kind of limited to just these companies that have enormous amounts of money to get through all the different regulations.
Oh, I wonder why.
But that's possible, I think, and that would be a very real way if there was a global interest to be like, let's put this to bed. Is space real or not? Just make it incredibly affordable for anyone to send their own camera out into space.
What?
Yeah.
Look at the real first book of the Bible just dropping in here with $10.
Fuck yeah.
That's so sweet of you, GitHub.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you.
Thank
I'll
you.
leave that up for a while. Go on, Thomas. Sorry. I just I feel like pay a little more
Shout out Alan Marcus.
Yeah, shout out people. Shout out everyone. Shout out the audience. I was really I forgot how long we've been here just staring at these two globes. Thomas's tits.
It irritates me just looking at them.
It irritates you. We could take it off for a little bit.
That was pretty
like
genius,
a spell
Thomas,
on
by
me or
the way. That
something.
was funny.
Two
Juju
globes.
away from me.
Dude, I felt like somewhere on my Mandela effect, this was a mission to the moon. The first time humans were going back to the moon in blank amount of time, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't to whiplash around
To
the moon.
orbit it?
Yeah, it
Right.
wasn't this.
No,
And
they were
so-
supposed to be landing on the moon.
It's crazy.
2
And
years
this
to
has been
get there,
supposed to
maybe?
happen since 2023. This exact thing has been delayed since 2023, and it just so happened to go off on April 1st. Is like, you can't convince me that this was the oopsie, that'll be perfect. No, this was the always planned.
Well, there's the difference between let me just go with the Rockefeller mainstream normie version of this. But there's a world of difference between landing on the moon and just whipping around it. Because you can whip around it fairly easily because you're just basically entering its orbit and then letting you being in its orbit transfer you around the moon. You don't have to worry about fuel. You don't have to worry about the logistics. You can just like sit back and let physics sort of take over the wheel a little bit. But if you're actually trying to land on the moon, well, now you got to figure out the fuel situation for slowing down and actually being able to navigate onto it and then being able to take back off. And there's so many things that can go wrong. And if there's a one more challenger, NASA probably will cease to exist. Like, there can't be another challenger situation. It'll pretty much all be going to either military or private industry, and there won't really be like a public facing version of this anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy because just in the last few months, we've had Blue Origin and SpaceX take off from Kennedy Space Center, which is weird. It's John F. Kennedy Space Center. We've had that I was thinking about how important it was for NASA like to get this right. Because it's almost like the private companies are almost like, I hope they fail. I hope they fail.
Well, have you guys ever seen Capricorn 1, which is the movie with O.J. Simpson about the fake space missions?
No.
So
No.
the general premise of this movie was that NASA had been collecting taxpayer money for the better part of like a decade or two, and people were kind of restless. Like, all right, NASA, like where's all this funding been going? Like, what you got? Can we still go out into space? Can we still go and visit planets? So they had like a pressure to do like some kind of dog and pony show, and that kind of represents what every single NASA version of it, like this Artemis, it seemed like it was just to quell public sentiment for, hey, how come we haven't been back to the moon yet? So now it's just like one less thing that they have to worry about answering. They can just be like, hey, remember Artemis 2? There you
You're
go.
giving
Well,
us your
you leave us
taxpayer
alone
money
for another 2
while
decades.
you pay $6.50 a gallon for gas in California.
Does any part of you, Thomas, because I know, like, does any part of you see some of the stuff they put out, like, bitch, like, just do, like, do you, like, don't try to keep the shutter open and get the sun on the side of the thing. Like, just get angles the whole way up. Like, just work with giving them, like, like, they're thinking too much instead of, like, if you gave people a little more simplicity, it might be but and then the amount of things that when you watch all the flat earthers and the amount of stuff they actually debunk, do you ever see any of it and think that has legs?
The biggest one,
Okay,
and
I'm
it's
sorry.
it's no, not when it comes to flat Earth. The biggest one is that there have absolutely been instances of NASA taking training footage and training photos, doctoring them, and then putting them out into the public, which end up getting used in media articles, sometimes textbooks that get sent out through schools. And it'll literally say, like, and here's an astronaut, like in space or on the side of a space station, but the origin of the photo, they clearly have like wires connected, like it was a training thing here on Earth. So the fact that some of the most fundamental photos and footage is so highly suspect as to like, well, was this part of the training? It's like the 9/11 NORAD situation, right? Where they're like, hold on a second, is this part of the training or is this like real world scenario? Because people knew that there was some weird lie going on. I think that there's something very similar to that with all these NASA programs. And then the fact that all of the original footage just gets written over because there was a tape shortage. Like those specific types of things is the closest that I can come to being like, there's absolutely a level of lies going on. And to what
Okay, one
scale?
more. Do you think there's really huge, crazy missions going on with all of these? And this, like the Sea World of it all, and this is the cover story. They have to show us because we're sending this big fucking rocket off the coast
Yeah,
of Florida.
100%. Because I got one of the cool projects that I got to work on at Disney. Because a lot of people don't know that other companies would contract you just because they assumed Disney was at like the top of engineering or ingenuity or whatever. So one of the programs was at Spaceport America, which is basically the private version of what NASA's doing. So if you got a Virgin Galactic is there, SpaceX was there, I think, and you can just go and rent out a pad and do whatever you want to do. And technically, it could be open for commercial business as well. Like people could just like walk up and go and essentially decide you want to send something into space. So even when Virgin Galactic goes out in the space, they rent out the ability to send a payload into space, and you pay by like the square inch per gram or something. It's astronomical, the cost. But if you have some sort of research that you're doing and you're like, I want to know how this happens in space. Like an example is some people might send germinated seeds up. Some people might send like orb weaver spiders up and like with their pharmaceuticals injected into it to see like how it operates in space, like without having gravity being present. So like a lot of these missions, when they're going up, it's not just like, let's take a look at the moon and quell the public response. It's also a whole bunch of corporations paid millions of dollars to have little lockers on these spacecrafts to do weird little experiments. And all that stuff is private, obviously. And that's what's really funding a lot of these missions.
Do you think there's anything crazy like we talk about, like in the simulation of it all, that like Anthony Weiner being like, come on the nose, like, and I think even the phrase on the nose, like, where did that phrase come from? I don't want to,
Don't wanna
but
think
I'm
about
just
it.
saying. Isn't it crazy? So April 1st, and here's my head, you guys. Here's where I go. At the Summer Olympics, it was under the Eiffel Tower that they did the Last Supper. And they mocked it, and they used drag queens, and then they had Dionysus lay across the Last Supper. And then at the Winter Olympics, it took place in the place that the Last Supper actually hangs. And so I think all of this leading up to Easter and April 1st of it all, and us, like, we're watching this thing go over us. It's first day around on Passover. And it's like all of this stuff is taking place on these very religious dates. And this is the part that is Anthony Weiner of it all. That makes me as mad as the circle and the light. There's a lady, the lady that's been furthest away from the planet, and her name's Christina Koch. And so her name's Christ Koch. And so I just am like, I'm sorry, this feels like mocking in the same way of those rituals that, yeah, maybe that's just her name.
Technically, her name is Christ in a cock, right?
No, I don't even know. I don't know her whole name. Like,
You
that
said
just blows
Christina,
my mind.
Christ in
yeah.
Christ in a
Like,
cock, yeah.
Penetration.
yeah, I know, it's blowing
Cock
my head, right? Like
penetration.
now what you're saying. But it just all feels like their fertility ritual around Dionysus, which we all know is the fertility ritual that starts at the Super Bowl and then leads all the way up. So also in my crazy schism, crazy tist brain, I was like, just love pattern recognizers because most of the time it's different than my patterns that I recognize. And I'm not trying to compete with other people's patterns. And so I love this about Donut. And so his illuminated toilets, and he has a book coming out. Shout out to Donut. You have to go and find Donut everywhere and like support him in his new book that he's working on. He's my favorite Jew too. And
One of the good ones.
He's the good one.
It's like I'm the one good lesbian, the not feminist lesbian. He's the one good Jew. Masons find them all. It's really, it's the one good Mason. Layla's the one good. Layla's the one good Muslim.
I don't even. That's not my title.
Anyway.
I no longer.
One good lesbian. Yeah.
Kaput. No more a Muslim. Sorry.
Oh shit. But anyway, so I love when my friends' patterns, like I would shout out to my Maria with 47 of it all. And then it becomes one of your patterns. And like you see it too. And so then I started to see Donut's pattern with a few other things. And when the toilet broke on the Artemis, y'all, I could have fallen out of my chair. I was like, I text him at like in the middle of the night, bitch, the toilet just broke on the And I was just thinking how funny it is. Like, it's the best when your friends or your audience knows your pattern recognition. So they'll be like, Chaney, Tom Hanks is in Spain. Like, check. Thank you. I don't know, whatever it is. I just love that shit. I was like that with Donut. Like, I've tagged him in everything with a toilet in it, and I imagine I'm one of thousands.
I am a bad Albanian, by the way. I broke all the rules of Albanian culture, like completely.
Maybe that should be your title of your podcast, The Bad Albanian.
Yeah.
That's a great name.
Actually, that's
name.
great.
It's a good name.
Yeah. The Bad Gal Albanian.
Because it would be interesting too, because you do authentic food and all that kind of stuff too. So you could still have all sorts of your culture in it, but then
I
talk about all the shit that you're bad about.
I like it. Bad Albanian. It sounds right.
I am.
Albanian.
The Albanian community will hate to see me coming. Oh my God. I will get dragged and trashed through that community if I start yapping away, but we'll save it for the show if that ever happens.
I'd like to get consensus of all the different communities. Like, how does the Albanian community as a whole feel about the moon and the moon?
Oh, they believe, the majority are believers of all of it. They're like majority NPC. And then there's like a few that are like conspiracy, like deep like me, and they go on these new shows and people are like making fun of them and some people are taking it, but like I'm starting to see like a little growth in that field of like, damn, I was indoctrinated. Yes, you were. Yes, you were, especially Albanian women. But yeah, NPC is majority. and a lot of barbarians. What? We can't hear you.
Artemis 2 astronaut finds 2 Outlook instances running on computers called on Houston to fix Microsoft anomaly. Puzzle caller describes 2 Outlooks and neither one of those are working. And I'm like, isn't that curious that our NASA would work on Outlook?
Is this a pun? Is this like a joke?
Sometimes with Alan Marcus, but this is actually a real thing that I've looked into. Like, this is, I can find the real article. Sometimes with Alan Marcus, he is being dry, but he is usually factual and pulling out the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So now he'll have to reiterate.
Oh, I didn't realize this was Marcus. So if this is Marcus, then it reads different.
It's Alien Marcus.
He has to come back on our show one day.
He can come on. I know. I'm wondering if my Maria is Sleepy Girl.
Probably.
Yeah, and if she is Sleepy Girl, because she probably stayed in her face to come on camera, like her after work face or whatever. So if she is Sleepy Girl, she's gonna wake up in makeup.
I got a list
that.
of people that I'd love to have on the show, but it's just a little too late for them.
Yeah. It's a little too late. It makes you a little loopy. And usually people that want to come on, they want to bring their best, and this is a weird time.
It's the greatest time. It's like midnight, we're up to like 3, and that's the witching hour, and that's when you're like, brain expands.
I don't mind at all.
No.
My favorite is when someone comes on and they've been out for the night and they just got home.
Yeah, that's fun too.
Oh, like Jules and Olivia?
Yeah.
Well, if it's on a spectrum, then I think that defines we're talking about 2 different ends of the spectrum. So that closer to that end of the spectrum, yeah, that's fun.
Oh, yeah. She'll be working on it. She needs to. She's going to come play with us tonight, maybe. For real, on camera tonight.
I hope so.
Maybe. But if not, next time. I told her no press.
True.
No press. That's usually
She
what
can
I
just
tell
show
people.
up and be like, hey,
that's how I feel about so many people. I just am like, oh, I wish I'm just ding dong, come in, hang out for 20 minutes, leave, next person, ding dong. I wouldn't even care.
Yeah. The more the merrier.
Send out the link then. See who shows up.
They're also saying one of the weird things today, just recently, is Trump was supposed to go back to Mar-a-Lago. And he didn't go back to Mar-a-Lago. He's staying in D.C. and people are like, oh shit's about to get real. I just feel like right now I'm pulling up a raw news alert, and this has nothing to do with what it says. I just think this is because of us being on air. This is to Thomas, because according to the New York Post, Pete Hegseth is reportedly growing paranoid about the possibility of losing his position as Secretary of War, and a concern. He's a paranoid American right now.
I mean, anyone that's ever watched The Apprentice knows the chaos that Trump kind of runs behind. He thrives on seeing other people.
You're fired.
Dealing with the chaos. Yeah, any given point, you could just be removed. And he's doing it. I mean, I don't know how effective it is.
I could be wrong.
None of us are going to know how effective it is. And
I feel like one of the first people he fired was Omarosa. Didn't Omarosa work for his cabinet once?
That's true, yeah.
You're fired. Yeah, he had to practice on his first, because I think he fired her on The Apprentice, and then
Here's a trend though, if you notice that even people that are Trump supporters, once they live in the Trump machine, no one lasts very long. If you last for more than say 18 months, then you're kind of like an old folk, right? You're like an OG if you can even last that long.
I've had a theory, and people don't love this theory because I know a lot of people either love Trump or hate Trump, and then love everyone in his sphere or hate everyone in his sphere. If Trump is like, oh, that person's good today, everybody's like, I love that person. If Trump's like, fuck that guy, everyone's like, I hate that person. Whatever. It's whatever the opposite thing of the thing or the same thing. But I think Trump is just there because I've always said to everyone knows, I think Trump has Tesla's time travel thing, and I think he's there ruining timelines. So he has Mike Pence, because Mike Pence was supposed to be the president of The Handmaid's Tale. In my, like, I've seen that vision of that for those people, that furthest right wing conspiracy or like religious kooky Mike Pence, fly in his hair, Beelzebub. Like, that's the guy that heads that thing up. DeSantis, like that guy. Like something was so off with DeSantis to me. And I feel like something about him, like it's like Trump's the, like, in the mafia way, like, you want to go on a ride? And you're like, sure, I'll go out to the lake with you.
Yeah.
And you get out to the lake.
It might be the most money you've ever made, or it might be you being killed. It's like one of those two, and you won't know until you get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if you, it's Godfather 3. It's like if you're in sometimes I wonder how many of the people, but then everything going on with Florida and how important certain states are in the checkers and chess of this whole world. This is not on either side. This is just some states are more important than other states. I think it's curious that midterms are coming and the governorship of Florida is coming up. And so it's just like, oh, there's a whole bunch of moving positions about to happen. So I think that's curious too. Certain states are about to have big, huge openings in positions that are going to be like Congress people, senators, governors. And now there's a whole bunch of people that have stood there that people now know their name, that they didn't know their name yesterday. But if you were fired and your name's now in the trash, are you going to be on The View next week? Because that seems to be the other, like, all of a sudden we see, like, they're on CNN as the opposite side reporter now. So, I don't know.
Honestly, I think the healthiest version of this is that people are cycling out constantly and quickly so that there's never someone that's sitting in the same exact position for long periods of time. And usually the only argument against that is like, oh, yeah, but they've built all these relationships, and well, that means that the system has to change a little bit then. You can't really leverage that type of important mechanic in politics on an individual person's personal relationships with everybody. Like for example, imagine a version of this where like an extreme would be someone cycles out every 12 months. Like regardless, every single role in government has to get cycled out to someone else that's at like a high level every 12 months, to the point where, you know, hundreds of people end up going through this process. So like hundreds of people all have that same role. And then like over time, you'll identify like what type of character traits are best in that role. And you've got a huge sample set of hundreds and hundreds of people to deal with, as opposed to one every, 4 years, 6 years, sometimes like 20 plus years. Remember the term limits thing? That was one of the things that was getting pushed during it. Whenever elections come up, term limits come up, and then as soon as the elections are over, the term limits thing is no longer
never gets pushed through. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I would rather, at this point, a government run by bingo balls in a thing that it was like boop, 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 boop.
It should be like jury duty.
Exactly like that. I would rather government run by anonymous selection, and you just have to go and stay there for a certain amount of time. And
you get a letter in the mail. You're like, you're going to be mayor for the next 6 months.
And instead of getting $6 an hour or whatever jury duty pays you, $6 a day, you get something good. You get like $500,000 a year and great insurance for 10 years. Like, it's a great benefits because they know they could be ripping you away from your farm. They could be ripping you away from your big, huge company. You could be a mom with 3 kids and all of a sudden be like, I'm going to need health care. I'm going to need help with my, you could be a single mom. You could be a single dad with 8 kids and they could be like, whoop, it's you. You got to go. And you would get a house in Washington and it's all set up. And there's a whole bunch of people in the square picketing their ideas as people walk there for the first time. And
this is like I think this was one of Plato's early writings on, or someone that gave him attribution, but writing about the perfect government would be if I oversimplify it, you like lock 5 people in a room, and each person, like, they collectively decide, here's the role of poor people, here's the role of rich people, here's the role of people with power and police. Like, you define what those roles are, and then you randomly assign everybody to one of those roles. So you yourself had to vote on, here's the level of care that my society is going to give people that don't have any income or that are invalid or something. Because if you know that you're going to go into that simulation as the king, you don't really care about what happens to the poor people. But if you go into the simulation realizing that the Russian roulette might pick you to be the poor person, then maybe that's in everyone's best interest to collectively raise the bar for what like the lowest common denominator might be.
And it would
I
be
like that.
like beneficial because it would pull somebody from an address where they lived and they would go back to that address. Like they would go back to that town. So they would have to answer to the constituents or the people in that area. Like it wouldn't just be like, oh, I'm going to finish this and I'm going to have to move my whole family to New York next week because everybody in my small town of Iowa hates me. Like it puts a little more accountability than these people that move to Washington and live there forever. They never go back. So
You know how that would actually play out? Let's say that's how we operated for 10 years. Then the successful and the unsuccessful ones would probably end up going on into like reality TV, or they would go into being like some sort of celebrity status as opposed to doing any other works after that. Because then you become like a personality, and being personality would make you even more money than getting paid to do the job.
it kind of has become that because right when you get out, it's like one of the ways they launder money is like go on a speaking tour and write a book, and no one has to buy your book. It can keep you warm. They could throw it in the fireplace. Like they just buy warehouses of the book, put them in hotels.
Those kind of Hunger Games of it, like.
Sorry. Oh shit. Oh man. But Hillary Clinton, like everybody on the New York Times bestseller list. Oh.
Pretty much.
Looky. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
You're not gonna come hang out on camera?
I am. I need to like
Do
get
what you
myself
gotta
together.
do. Okay.
Give me 1 second.
You don't
I
have
forgot
to.
there was a time difference, and then I thought, I'm so late.
Oh, don't even think twice about it. We
So,
are up for a
I
little
don't.
You're right on time.
There's this like weird little rabbit hole I kind of dove into. This guy Gilbert V. Pope talks about how they found a fountain of youth in Florida. And it goes something like this. I sent you the video pretty much of how there's video footage of them spending, I don't know, X amount of money going down this well. And as they go deeper and deeper, the water just gets clearer and clearer. And it's called Blue Gold. And I sent it to you on messages on X, and he explains what this water is, where it is, where it's located, in Sarasota, was it? I'm not sure where exactly, but it's a very interesting little rabbit hole. And there's a world, you can visit the website just so you guys can get a little
just
bit
what you
more
said about the blue
information.
gold of it all, because in the process of alchemy, like you create the lapis child and it goes from blue to gold. Like that's part of that, goes from black or the
I
Negrata or
might
whatever, and then
be crazy, but I think Nephilim Death Squad they're doing a movie with these people.
Gilbert,
I feel-
ibluegold.com.
Didn't they do something with the water in Sarasota? Because Florida has like like an ocean underneath it.
The government is taking over it. They won't allow anyone near it. They won't let anyone experiment on it. It's like closed off to the public. And this is like supposedly like the best water that can literally heal the entire world.
well,
It's
the
like
Spanish
really,
were trying to look for it there in Florida, weren't they? Way back when.
Mhm.
Fountain of Youth.
Actually, the video, there's very interesting footage of it and
I'm trying
what it
to
is.
I'll pull it up in a second. I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
get our names on the screen.
Oh, nice.
I'm in
I
the
don't want
middle
you to
of
dox
something.
us.
I'm trying to get your phone numbers on the screen.
Let me go hit my bong.
If my Maria is going to sit there in a black screen, then I want to put our names on the screen at least.
Yeah.
GPA, it's like, anyways.
GTA.
Hi, my Maria 777. How are you? No, she's not there anymore. Anyways.
I'm getting my computer set up. Give me like 1 second. I'm on my
Okay.
cell phone right now.
Oh, okay. That's why it's an M.
Did you
So
see that there's Britney Spears in the news again? I feel like that's worth pointing out.
that her son is changing his last name from Federline to
Spears.
Spears.
But also, apparently, she was smoking a cigarette at a gas station, so everybody's flipping out about that.
Like next
gas
to the
pump.
pump?
Yeah.
What is she even doing next to a gas pump?
That's what. Okay, so it's only a picture of her forehead and her boot sticking up, up. So
It could be
allegedly,
anyone.
it's Britney Spears.
Mm.
Oh
You
my
know what? If she wants to smoke a fucking cigarette next to the gas pump, I've seen people do it all the damn time.
I just am like, leave
I
Brittany
have.
alone. It's
I
real
know.
life. Like, geez, that poor, like, can you imagine if anyone followed you around as much as the paparazzi follow her around?
I don't think she's alive. I don't think it's her. I don't know why. My gut is
Like
telling
literally
her.
or metaphorically or all the above or what?
Literally, I don't think she's alive.
If it's not her, do you think it's like the fourth clone, or do you just think it's CGI over her sister?
Sister. Same body type. It's just like, what better person than your sister? Like, a lot of people think me and my sister look alike, and me and my sister look at each other and we're like, I don't fucking see it, but everybody says it.
It would be
It's that same
smart to
idea.
start like a beef over the conservatorship to make it so that they would never have to be in the same room together ever again.
Oh, that would be good and make it really public. Like,
So
I
then
hate
it's
her.
like, hey, isn't it weird that you've never seen Britney Spears and her sister in the same room? Like, nah, remember the conservatorship thing? No, it's normal that they wouldn't ever be in the same room.
Yeah, fuck that.
I gotta stop
wouldn't wanna be
looking for
around any of
this.
my
It
family.
just is what it is, man. I can't look for it and listen at the same time. My brain is not capable of reading and listening at the same time. Like,
No.
reading is my hardest task for my eyeballs to read lines and be like, okay, I'm reading a book. Like, I'm relaxed and just so into this book. For me to get into that, otherwise sometimes my eyes are doing everything like I'm on a treadmill. And then I'm like, I have no concept of what happened on those 2 pages. Like, I was still on the treadmill doing the thing, but why was I just putting in words and not doing, like, this is a waste of my time.
Well, that's like with being auditory digital. That's everybody. When I read, I have to like sit there and read parts of it out loud, or like I sit there and I'll just read like 2 or 3 paragraphs and realize I haven't read anything.
Oh,
Like
yeah, sorry.
retain none of it. But
That'll keep your reading level slow too, though, indefinitely. Because the very trick of speed reading is to break yourself of the habit of having to hear the word
yeah,
out loud in order to progress or in order to understand it.
And
but that's
real
just me
quick, and then
processing in
hold on one
general.
sec. Sorry to interrupt. Layla, tell me where you sent me the video again, because that's how long
On
it took
X and
just till
messages.
now for my brain to get to that.
X messages.
That's how long my brain was recording everything, but it took that long to
Yeah.
get to that part of it. I'm sorry, Layla, say it again.
X messages.
You need to clear your cache and cookies.
Okay.
Delete your
X
history.
Messages.
Reboot.
That's nice.
What's X messages?
I
She's
sent
sending
the video.
me a
Oh, okay,
link
okay.
so I
About
can
the
find it
fountain.
nice. Dude, I was.
Blue gold.
You guys don't even need to know that part.
And you won't get kicked off for this video. So
But I do like speed
or
reading, like
flagged.
the Spreeder app. That's how I got through freaking college. I would just sit there
Yeah,
and
Streeter is
copy.
a
Oh,
great example of one of the. Although it lets it so that you can still say it out loud really quickly.
yeah.
So it's like but once you can break yourself of having to hear it in order to understand it, but it's
Yeah, you
so
like
wild
cluster the
because
words and then
what
it makes
children
sense.
are usually like they'll learn what it sounds like and to link things to the sounds. So then when you learn how to read a few years later, you're just linking the reading to the sound and then to the thing that it means. So really what you need to do is break that gap. You have to like figure out if you like, for example, if you see the word bed, you need to see a bed mentally without ever hearing the word bed said out loud. And then you have to do that to every other word that exists in the English language. And it can take like relearning all of English language all over again in order to really
That
do it.
yeah. I think that'd be helpful if you're already a visual person. But like for me, I have to like speaking, like even here when we're all talking, sometimes like I don't say a lot because I'm only retaining like 20% of what you guys are saying, like because I'm not repeating it back to myself.
Like you're
So
trying to be present in it in real time. And
yeah.
oh my gosh, Layla, I don't know why. I have no idea where messages even are on my computer on X.
No. Should I send it to you again? Maybe it'll
Oh
come
wait,
up
I
as a
think I
notification.
found it. It's called chat. I only do
They
this shit on
changed
my.
it.
I do so. I
What kind
don't
of weed
do
did you
it.
smoke tonight?
This computer is my just for podcasting because I don't want it to get any kind of weird viruses in it or any kind of weird. So I try not to do. And sometimes my research leads me to crazy places. All of a sudden, I'm looking
Yeah.
up vor, and I'm like, I don't want that here because it does weird stuff.
Funny, I mentioned vor today to my coworkers. They're like, "What the fuck is that?" I was like, "Google it,"
Mm-hmm.
because we were talking about how,
Me too.
huh?
What was the bimbo thing?
Oh, mentioned it.
What about it?
What's it called again?
Called bimboification.
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 Gotta store that with like docking and all the other things that Chaney's taught me.
And it is really good weed that I smoked tonight.
I figured.
I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm like, gosh. Oh, it's gelato. And I actually, I was like,
Ben Balderson just had a little bit of a conniption hearing you say that.
what, saying gelato?
Yeah.
Gelato.
It's been a while. Like, yeah, I feel like gelato is an old school brand, like an old school strand. And, you know, I am usually like a new strand chaser. So I was like, I'm going to go back to something old school.
Bring me back to some good like 2006 sour diesel from New York.
And I also napped tonight, and I knew when I woke up from my nap, even just telling somebody something simple like I fed the fish, it was like taking forever for my brain to connect the words.
13 doing down the whole video. 500 years to the day, and I didn't know him. April 2nd, 1513, Ponce de Leon sighted the peninsula. So we're heading down with a very expensive $700,000 camera to see what's down there. This is the beginning. It takes a few hours. When you get down to the bottom, see them giant cracks? No one's ever seen nothing like that in a well. And it keeps getting cleaner. Normally you would see blue lines coming off from the light spectrum from the salt. It's getting cleaner and cleaner because we're heading down to primary water, but it's rubbing off a rock from a meteor impact that no one's ever seen on the planet. It's made for human health. Okay, it's coming to the tap and they're everywhere. It's just this one's the best one because it's rubbing off it. So I wanted to show everyone that it was 500 years to the day, and this media has nothing but crap news. See, you should see blue lines coming off the walls. It's clean, man. It's nonstop. So it's endless. It's tied to an ocean, and it's been down there 65 million years. So it ain't running out, is it, America? But meanwhile, we got DeSantis, this Sarasota Republican Party and Democratic Party, and all these judges hiding this thing. With the highest magnesium and calcium, it changes medicine across the earth. So all 50 states and all leaders are responsible, not just Florida DeSantis and this Supreme Court Katanya Jackson Brown skank. This all needs to stop. And we need to open this up, and we need to arrest all of Florida, and especially all of Sarasota, all the staff, all the cops, all of them, because they knew 10 years. And this fantastic thing is still hidden by Biden, Trump, DeSantis, the military. Gilberti versus Pentagon. We got the entire military hiding this for 2 years now after he tried to set up a school shooting on my kid with Carmine Marcino and all these dirty ass sheriffs and all these stupid ass teachers and football coaches like that Bishop.
All right.
I don't know.
That guy's
But he has a website.
He sounded like he's not. He's right about some things for sure, though. Florida has like a huge, massive 100,000 square foot mile underground reservoir, porous limestone, dolomite. Like the whole state's built on this, and then underneath it, there's like a freshwater ocean. So it's like all of our caves and cave systems, and they're like the manatees and the way that our wildlife all live in certain parts, especially around Sarasota. And then some people theorize that these cave systems actually go under parts of the Gulf and attach to parts of the Yucatan and like through Cuba and stuff, like caves under the ocean.
And this is part of the sinkhole situation where you'll
Yeah.
just see like, oh, and by the way, this house in this neighborhood is now gone. You're like, what do you mean it's gone? And there's just a big hole there. It's because it fell into one of those aquifers it makes it dangerous. So when they tap into one of those, if they drain it too much, then it just leaves this giant cavity waiting to be turned into a sinkhole at some point.
That's crazy.
And they've been saying for a long time that oil is a valuable resource. Water is a more valuable resource. Like fresh water is the world's most valuable resource. And that's why all these old families like Nestle and Hershey and all these like secret little old families of the Americas that you don't hear about in the war system or political system as much, they actually are owning all the water sources. So even like the Bush family, they own like oil wells, but then I think in South America they own like the land over all of the biggest aquifers. And another dangerous thing is you look into all these old oil families, they all have the technology to hit the aquifers. So let's say you're above the aquifer. Well, let's say we are all above the aquifer, but a Bush family has the technology to drill low enough they can drain our aquifer. Because we can't reach it, so we don't share it as a collective. Who can drill the deepest gets it. So it's like
there's a version of that. There was a documentary called The Grab that came out a year or two ago. But one of the examples they give, I think it's in Texas, where like Saudi Arabia is one of many different examples. But like Saudi Arabia will come to a certain area in Texas, buy up a huge plot of land for like dirt cheap, and then they'll drill down into like a similar kind of like an aquifer situation, and they'll soak up all the water that takes it away from a community like a mile away. So now this entire community doesn't get their water anymore, and the Saudis will like use it to grow some kind of a crop, and then as soon as the crop's ready, they just cut it down and they send it back home. So they basically come here and buy super cheap land and then drill into natural resources and then use it all up and then immediately export whatever they created. And then it leaves like this entire community. Well, now they don't get to grow their crops because they hadn't drilled that deep down. They weren't able to tap into like the main source of it.
And for real, like he's a pudgy mudge, Layla. I know that's what you call him, but Old World Florida is a like great resource on some of this stuff. He's not the only one. But it's just like a good jump off point to some of the Florida lore. But the amount of it, I just feel like that he re-brought up. None of it's like, but a lot of it, I feel like he put on the zeitgeist again that wasn't there for a while. And if you look up even just like simple videos that are like something you'd look up if you were a tourist coming to Florida to visit, and you went to YouTube and you put in 50 strange facts about Florida, and it would just be some guy that just showed pictures the whole time. Just those facts will blow your fucking mind. Like ecologically, geography, the animals, the depth of things. There's some of the parts of Florida that I don't remember the exact facts, but they're like, this is the deepest lake in enclosed land in the world. It goes 680 feet down. Or this cave system is called the womb. I feel like somebody might have even wrote it over here, where you have to go through it. It's so thin, you have to put your tank, you have to take your tank off and put it in front of you and put your arms out in front of you too and hold your tank and push it all the way through, and then it opens up into the, you know how you see people diving into cave systems in Mexico? Florida has all that, and it is wild. Like the animal life, like you could just be like sitting on a board and all of a sudden monkeys in the water, gators that aren't attacking you. The weird part about the water around the springs, the gators are non-aggressive. And so people hang out in the springs all the time and never fucking get attacked. It's not Everglade gators. It's so crazy. You're like, did you truck these gators up? These gators calm as hell. Swimming by manatees and shit. Monkeys just literally falling out of the trees. You're like, this place is crazy.
Like a paradise.
I don't know. Yeah, the springs are, and they're so close. I think me, you and Thomas all live in a different part of the state. All of us, it's a decent drive, but all of us have springs close enough. We could probably go to the springs, do something weird. We have whitewater rafting in Florida. Like, you wouldn't know that. Like, yeah, there's some, maybe you need to scuba dive, Layla. Maybe you need to go in the cave systems. You need to get us footage.
That.
Would you do that, Thomas?
No way.
I'm with you.
We'll make Thomas go first.
Scuba diving before when I was like much younger, but I don't know. I feel like I've got like a set of rules where if there is a better, what feels like better than a 1% chance of dying, like how much is this worth it? Am I paying money to do this? Like I don't want to pay money to die.
Could die?
Like that's a really easy one.
How could you die?
Squeezing through a little cavern in which you have to take your
I wouldn't go to like an easy one, like I don't want to go to a dangerous one.
Oh no, 100%. Yeah, no, I love that. I would absolutely go. I've gone many times doing that.
If I'm not experienced, absolutely not.
It's the same idea as spelunking. There's no fucking
Hello. Finally.
Is your sound working?
Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm so sleepy, please.
Oh no, you're sleepy, girl?
Yes. I'm always a sleepy girl. Sorry.
It is late night.
All that.
Well, we Artemis missioned. What are your thoughts? I can pull up a picture of it if you want to see a beautiful
gonna get
picture.
Triggered again.
I know.
I don't even know where I end and begin these days, but it's just all fake and gay. I don't have a whole great deal of thoughts.
Same.
You don't have a thought of the new globe?
Oh, I think the NASA graphic designers are just working, overtime perpetually these days. They're getting a little bit better than they have before. What?
Do you think they're just using ChatGPT like everyone else?
Absolutely.
Seemingly so. The amount of people that use it these days on mind-numbing task. Why wouldn't, Project Paperclip be involved with ChatGPT as well?
What are your thoughts of this Kanye concert? And
get Dom Lucra off this fucking platform right now. You couldn't find another clip.
This was actually just the first one on my feed. I don't even follow him. I just feel like he's X token black. Like,
I know, I just hate this dude.
But I just thought it was like, so Kanye just happened to whip up these graphics real quick, and this mission that was delayed for however long just happens to be going off at the same time, and parts of the world are actually having red skies. But Kanye doesn't have anything to do with the script. It just seems like the timing is
the
on the
actor
nose.
way too much credit here. As if he necessarily has the ability to individually manipulate the script. you know?
Oh no, I just think the timing is on the nose. Like I think everything just it's like the one of the astronaut, the lady's name just happens to be Christ cock.
Christ in a cock.
I can't with it. Like that's the stuff like the Anthony Weiner of it all that I'm like I'm losing my mind with this movie. So,
I mean, you know, what's that one thing that always goes around and the Christians get upset about, you know, that Easter is always the first Sunday after the full moon following the spring equinox. And then we conveniently have Artemis happening at the same time. I don't know. I put out a tweet this week, and maybe you can help, Paranoid American, but I see the numbers and I see the references, whether they're Masonic numbers, whether they're this numbers, and I get that, like, oh my gosh, I see this, and this is an indication of X, and this is an indication of Y. But I really want to understand the mechanics behind it. Like the elite are using the number 33, like, ooh, okay, but like, how does it really work in the matrix? You know, like, how do
Well,
I?
first of all, I would say that people give Masons way too much credit for like numbers. Like Masons didn't figure out numbers. Like if anything, I guess technically the Templar and like Pythagoras and all them, they always said they were bringing it back from the East, right? Like the East is where they were figuring out all these mathematical numbers. But that's really what it is. It's like the magic behind numbers because we've been taught to interpret them as pure logic, as completely secular, sterile, objective things that don't have any kind of weird mysticism or woo-woo going on behind the scenes. But it seems that that's the exact opposite. Like there is all kinds of mysticism and woo-woo. And what you're kind of talking about is gematria. And the reason why you see, say, like the number 33 come up so often is just it's a law of numbers, right? Because we have a base 10 number system. And essentially, there's only 10 different numbers that you're ever going to see in our lifetimes because that's the model that we're all looking at. So out of a selection of 10, if you just keep rolling dice all day, every day in every direction, and you've only got 10 numbers to pick from, you're going to see all sorts of recurring patterns. And I think that deep down, there's certain patterns that just exist. They just exist in nature. And that our number systems are kind of exposing weird little ripples and synchronicities and being able to detect what that pattern is and then plan around it. So it's not that like the Masons are getting together and they're like, on the 33rd day, we're going to make this thing happen. It's more like, hey, if you're going to go fishing, you're going to go fishing in the part of the lake at the time of the day when you know there's going to be fish there. And if you keep going there at like, let's say like 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 3:33 in the afternoon, you're going there because that's when the fish are there, not because you're using magic to make the fish show up at 3:33. And I think you can just like extrapolate that to all these other instances where it's like,
so it's like a farmer's almanac.
It's dude. The Farmer's Almanac is a perfect example.
It's
Yeah,
biometric.
it's a much higher level of it.
I guess I make this argument sometimes when I talk about the idea of like the color purple and it not being real and it being on the line of purples and that kind of thing. And so when I see purple in reality, is this the sim revealing itself to me through the color purple? Or at the same time, is it the elite intentionally using the color purple as a means to communicate? I don't think it's one or the other. I'm always asking one or the other. It's only really one. There's not one answer to it. But I kind of think of it now sometimes when I was having this discussion this week of like, when I see the number, is it a creator revealing itself through me, through the machine? Is it the machine revealing itself to me in and of itself? Like, is the machine programmed to reveal itself to me? And
I think
that in and of itself.
it's giving you another set of tools to make connections between things. So, like a great example within Gematria are all the different types of ciphers where you've got ordinal, which just means all the number or all the letters are added up in order, ordinal, right? So A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, and so on and so on. And then you've got things like Chaldean, which actually has like some kind of like magic baked into it. And you've got like septenarian, which it goes up to 7 and then back down. You've got reverse and you've got reduction. You've got all these different, and like, why would you use one over the other? Well, because sometimes people just find it easier when they're looking for a connection. So there is like a anti-scientific, and I know that's like a loaded word, but there's an anti-scientific way of going about gematria where you're looking for the connection. Like you're like, thing A and thing B have to be connected in some way, and I don't know what it is, and let's just figure it out. Let's see what the letters add up to. And okay, the Chaldean doesn't work, let's go to ordinal. Oh, ordinal doesn't work, let's go to reverse reduction. And then like if you keep going through the ciphers, eventually you'll find that connection, and then you'll stay within that system and try and find a connection using that same system to 2 other words. And once you can figure out just by dumb luck 2 or 3 versions of that, now you've kind of you're cooking a little bit, right? But it's a way that who knows if you're actually finding a real pattern or if you're just finding a tool that helps you make the connection between 2 things. Just the same way that if you could go out to the store and buy a pencil and then draw a connection between any 2 things, now that you've got a pencil.
Do you feel like maybe when you're more aware of it and you see the pattern, do you feel like you're shown more in a sense, like through algorithm, through, I guess, the things you observe in reality? Does it just show and reveal more, do you
I
think,
think you're just more
maybe?
mindful, and if you're more mindful, then what is it, the GI Joe, like knowing is half the battle or whatever. I think that like paying attention is like 90% of the battle. And if you're thinking in terms of gematria, or even people that are deep into astrology, even if you get made fun of, like, oh, you're into the woo-woo stuff, all it really means is that you're probably a lot more cognizant of like whatever moon patterns are going on, like what's the current state of the moon, where like the stars aligning. Even if it doesn't ultimately mean anything, it does mean that you're more present in the moment for knowing that.
For instance, like time, for instance, you're just driving and you're not really thinking about looking for patterns. You're just driving and you're in like thought about whatever, and all of a sudden you look down at the clock and then you see 333. And that keeps happening just randomly, and then you get on receipt papers and the time that you punch out and the a type of tip that you get. It's just like a repeated pattern that you see more often as you become aware that the patterns are being sent to you. It's like the universe is like, yeah, keep going, but you're not really looking for them. They're just happening.
I think it's more of
The
like a
science of that would
filtering.
be like the reticular activation system in the brain. Like that's what science would tell you. So it's like you see the pattern, or you want to see a pattern, and then you see it. It'll present itself over and over and over again, because your brain will filter and like actually specifically find that thing. But I think
So wild.
there's more to it than that. I don't think that it's just
I
that
don't think
way.
that having that be what drives it makes it like demystifies it or makes it any less important. Like, and
Yeah.
anything, it's a skill that we should be able to figure out how to like filter to just this one thing and hyperfixate on it and see it everywhere.
Yeah.
So I think we're all capable of doing it, but it's seen as like a pointless activity, borderline, inducing schizophrenia.
Yeah,
But I
well,
think, isn't
induced
there
schizophrenia as a Castaneda thing, but also like if you look at reality as a mirror, like whatever you want to see is what you're gonna see. So it's a good skill to like hone and practice, I think.
What were you gonna say?
I know, sorry.
No, I think it's like, I appreciate the angel numbers discussion and the idea of synchronicities, but I also think, like, I think you're on the right track when that occurs. But then I also think that there's almost like an energy behind synchronicities that you can go like way far down the rabbit hole, and then the sim can present you with like too much. Does that
Yeah, overload.
like
Do you
you
think
need
that
to
it's
be
your
able
higher
to go
self
kind of
giving it to you?
Crazy.
Like giving you the wink? Like, I almost think that sometimes the synchronicities and stuff are like the me that's not playing in the simulation sending it to me. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
right?
Like, hey, pay
It's
picture
attention.
weird.
yourself.
This is for
I
you,
think you
Abbie.
can just like spiral on it. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
can just keep going down and down and down, but they're helpful, but
Spiral.
they're also have like jester energy to them as well.
Yeah, like you
I
can
agree.
almost
For
be in
sure.
psychosis over it sometimes.
You ever notice how like the Jesters cap, the ones that curl up and have like the bell on the inside, it almost is like reflective of a fractal nature of things. Like you could keep zooming in and it
The
would
three,
keep,
two,
like,
one.
yeah, exactly. Like a
Yeah.
Fibonacci, yeah.
Fibonacci.
But the gesture is like the mage or like the magician. I see it as it's like creates the act, it creates the illusion of like the thing that is trying to present.
Well,
That's what I look.
the jester is the thing that shows you how far you're allowed to push the limits without getting your head cut off, essentially. Like, here's the line.
Yeah.
Here's how far you can make fun of certain things and the things that you're allowed to make fun of, and don't go over this line.
The jester is the only one that's allowed to mock the king.
That's
But
right.
he's also showing you how far even he's allowed to push that line, because like not every jester gets to be, you know, like a Norm Macdonald, right? They don't all get to be like, so how about Hillary Clinton eating those kids, huh? Like, what do you think about that?
And in the calendar of the cards, like just the playing cards, the jester represents leap year, which I just think is curious. Like how it's like a leaping, you know, like they're like lords of leaping and it's little jesters.
It's a leaping.
Yeah, it's kind of curious. And then I also, the priest that guarded the Ark of the Covenant, there was like only one guy was allowed to go in there, and he was only allowed to go in there once a year. And I like not even the Levites were allowed in there. There was just one room, and there was the priest that went in there. He had to have bells all on the bottom of his fabric, like really close, almost like I was thinking of jester shoes when I was like learning this information, all on the bottom, because he had to be moving the entire time he was in there, because the Ark of the Covenant was just known to kill everything. So it was like ways so that the priests outside the door would know he was still alive inside.
Do you think they actually were keeping the original COVID inside of the Ark of the Covenant?
Well, the weird part is when you get into all of there was like 3 major deities that are brought in around the area, which I think, whatever the Holy Land at the time. I don't even want to try to dissect the Middle East right now, but they actually bring in like a female goddess at the time that shouldn't be there, because it was supposed to be, the ark was supposed to be in the room alone, and then the angel wings had this little opening, and that was supposed to be the space that God sat, and it was supposed to be the only thing in there. Well, like God was in between the opening between the 2 angel wings and the ark, and they brought in a woman goddess, and they made her the wife of God. Like there was a time that this happened, and I can't remember if it was you know, like what one of the female goddesses it was, but I was definitely like, oh. Anyway, yeah, bells on the bottom of things.
Bell bottoms. Ah.
Oh, that is kind of funny. Your Levi's jeans and your bell bottoms.
Oh my gosh, it's all related to freaking.
Yeah, only Levites are the ones that can carry the Ark of the Covenant. So
They have to have the right color blue.
yeah, holy shit.
And then they have the copper rivets, you know.
Yep, your
for-
Levi's jeans. That's probably our tribe. Where
Right?
we're like, we're the mixing pot of a bunch of Levi's jeans. Because we're
America,
vaccinated
good old
with-
America.
Wow. Apparently, Muslims used to believe bells were demonic, and according to the hadiths, fuck the hadiths, yeah, they were demonic.
There's a number of cultures where they would like
Wild.
melt a person into a bell.
Really?
Every time a bell rings, the angel gets his wings. That's so funny how it's like.
I never know when he's
What?
serious or not.
No,
Wait,
I'm not
so-
making that up.
No, but what
that's
you
true.
both
Really?
said, I never know when he's serious.
I know. Thomas, you're like, you have the serious.
He keeps the
Joking
deadpan
thing?
all the time, and he
Yeah.
knows
He's
the
just
3
like-
of us will dive in, especially
I'll
if
believe
Thomas says
anything
it.
he
We're
says.
like, tell us more about this purple
This is
dragon they
the real
found in
one.
Iraq.
There's a concept called Hito Bashira, which means living foundation or something, and it's essentially when you would bury somebody under a building before you build it, so that like their spirit gets trapped
Mhm.
and will like protect. And usually do it in like bridges, or you do it in like spires and castles, like things that need to be protected. But another version of this, I think it's in Korea, that there's this bell that they said they kept melting down and trying to remake this bell, and they would hit it and it wouldn't make a sound. And then eventually they melted the bell down again, and they threw a kid in there into the mix. And then when they formed the bell that last time and they rang it, not only did it finally make noise, but it was like this magical noise. And that to this day, the bell still exists. And that's still part of the lore, is that there's like a human being baked into that bell and many others. That's not the only instance of this.
And so every time a bell rings, an angel does actually get its wings because somebody is deadsy. Somebody's unalived. I hope that it didn't get me in trouble on YouTube. You say the word dead, and all of a sudden there'll be a bar at the bottom of the screen and giving people a 1-800 number.
I will find things at auction, and I have found a cast iron bell for sale that it's like ends in like 19 days, and it's just like, this is yours. You have to come and physically remove it from the church, and it's literally like,
oh wow,
it's this
big
kind of huge
yeah,
one.
it's a huge one. I'm really hoping I win. I called I sent it to, what should I call him? I guess my boyfriend. And I was like, can you figure out how to get this out? I was like, can we get this?
I wonder how much it weighs.
I don't know. We'll find out.
It's probably like
huge.
Coming soon on Mud Maria.
Yeah. Get this, babe.
She's gonna be ringing that bell, driving everyone crazy.
It's gonna be really heavy. One day I'll have a cool house. I just kind of I buy all these things for my future house and set them in the garage.
Oh wait, here, let me pull it up so you can see the whole thing.
I wish I could do that. I hate hoarding shit.
Oh my gosh,
like,
you guys.
when I see too much clutter, I go crazy. I can't do it.
You guys, don't change my opinion of the one thing I find sacred. I'm like, I didn't even know bells were so occult. I'm like, I thought like a bell.
Oh,
was
now I see why Muslims thought it was demonic.
This is one article of many, but this one in particular is talking about the sacred bell of the great king of Seon-dek, and this is in 771, Korean national treasure number 29. So that there's always been a debate over whether or not a human boy was actually melted into this huge bell, and they apparently have enough evidence to prove that it's not just legend, that it's actually true. And along with remains found in the remains of foundations of all sorts of other buildings in the area.
Well, didn't they do that like in Ireland and everything too? Like bury bodies underneath the buildings?
And the Great Wall. Aren't there just like
it's a common practice. The thing that makes this so fascinating to me is that it spans cultures and time periods all across the say globe, and everyone's gonna be like, how dare you?
Or like,
but like all over the earth,
Fed
right?
slop.
That there's been instances of this version of killing people and either putting them under a foundation or mixing them into the foundation or just having them be there, because it adds like a je ne sais quoi, right? It adds like some undescribable quality that makes it better.
We have a story of that too. Oh, sorry.
No, go
ahead. No, go ahead.
It's just very Black Mirror in the way that series expressed the idea of trapping like consciousness in an inanimate object. And so the idea of your like physical presence and some form of your conscience being trapped in a bell and then rung, and your essence being like projected by frequency into existence for the rest of time. But then at the same time, it also reminds me of, I haven't done salvia, but everything I hear about salvia is all these people experiencing like 2 dimensions in some sort of inanimate object. So I guess, I don't know, Chaney and I were talking about this recently, like, I don't know if it's the Toy Story in me based on my age, but like I look at almost everything and give it some sort of soul.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's just a purely inanimate object, then maybe there's some sort of something to that now in a world of Black Mirror and salvia. Maybe I'm experiencing myself as the red chair in my.
What are there limits to that? Like how does it have to be a certain size, or could it be microscopic and it still has a soul for you? Yeah.
No, honestly, everything.
So each individual grain of sand or piece of salt could potentially have like a soul inside of it.
Yeah, I think of things like if I look at the ketchup bottle and I'm finishing it, I'm like, I really have to get all the ketchup out of here because, like, what if I leave some behind?
It's the God particle, like it's God in everything.
And okay, do you guys trap water? You know, you always need to release water, so like never leave any inside of a plastic bottle, or else we'll literally never.
I water my plants so that.
So we have a legend in our culture. It's called the Legend of Rozafa. And apparently, it's a story of these three brothers. They were building the castle, and the foundation would not, stay together for some reason. So apparently, the three older brothers said that if whoever brings our lunch tomorrow will be the sacrifice that we use to, put into the wall. So two of the brothers warned their wives, and one of the brothers' wives that wasn't warned came. So she was buried in this wall with one of her boobs out, so her children could still be fed through the wall as she was buried alive in the wall. And this is, I don't know how many hundreds of years old, but
isn't that every mother's dream?
Yeah, she was the sacrifice, apparently.
I don't think it's any mother's dream to be encased in something with her tit out in perpetuity. So no.
Well, you're just not Tradcath enough.
We're beating it. I was shocked when I heard
Tradcath. Yeah, for perpetuity.
Any real Tradcath would like to be encased in a wall with just a boob out.
With her mammary gland being required to be
glory hole
in perpetuity. You would say something like that as a man, wouldn't you?
But it's like 2026. You would need to have like a little like QR code to scan in order to get access to it.
It's so crazy. It's crazy how like in all the statues, like ladies will have like big tits or a bunch of tits or crazy tits, and then men tiny little penises. It's just weird. Like, but maybe it just wasn't cool back then.
But maybe like statues are actually people too. What if they are?
But that's the real thing too with the Horcrux, where some people go through and they're like with the Statue of Liberty, Colossus, that is the actual size. If you take the measurements from the Bible of the original fallen, that's how big they were. So they go down.
Did you
size
really
as they
see
breed
that
with
knocking
man.
up a human woman? Like,
well, it doesn't mean they were all like, I think that we think of things now in a way that might not be from them. Like if they're alien, demon, whatever, fallen, I don't know what to call it, but it does seem like there's some giant beings, and we're fractaled versions of those things. Like as time goes on, it somewhere fractals us, and we don't live as long, but their lifespans were huge. And you see depictions all across the board. It's just blanketly, the Bible's like a book of our country that's easy for us to kind of grasp, like, hey, this is all through here. But every culture has these giants written in them. And I also think every culture has these giants eating humans. Like, I don't think it's just a biblical thing that they were.
But usually they would eat humans to prevent the humans from killing them, not because like they like to snack on us.
I think if famine and plague were a real thing at all, if we had a finite amount of food, then anywhere they were, it'd be the same way you saw Khaleesi and like she has her dragons and all of a sudden they start killing the local people's sheep, and she's like, shit, I'm going to have to figure something else out about this because I'm not going to get these people to follow me if my dragons are also killing their livestock. And so that is where I think, how much would a giant eat? And then like the same way you discover bacon, if it's like, oh my gosh, this long pork tastes so good. Like, I love human and fire. And so then it's like, they'll just throw their babies in the fire if I tell them an eclipse is coming. This is fantastic. Like, this is easy setup. It doesn't even seem hard. I'll be like, I'm not going to bring your son back unless you throw your babies in the fire. Yum, bacon.
One of my favorite alternate conspiracy theories is that we're just the right size, like current humans, between like, I don't know, like 5 and 7 foot or so. But like that certain size collectively decided it was going to be the only size of humans that were going to be allowed to exist, that because anything bigger, any giants bigger, were a threat, and that they would also consume too many resources. But then also anyone that was smaller but that could still do things that any normal size human could be, that they would be a threat because they require less resources. Like if you were, you know, 2 feet tall, and not because of dwarfism, but just because of like, you know, an entire population of like pygmies, for example, that got mostly eradicated, and other versions of pygmies that.
Like you were a well-bred dog. You had the right size
But
limbs.
if you could be as efficient and do all the same work, but require like 100% less space and food and oxygen and everything, just resources in general, then you could potentially be superior, because the same amount of money, time, and effort could send you much farther than someone that's twice your size. So like at a certain point, the 5 foot to 7 foot collective humans were like, we're killing all the pygmies, we're killing all the giants. It's just going to be us, because there's no room for anyone on the other sides of the spectrum.
I believe that could have been.
I think that's almost what the historical record shows.
That David is like, we're like, fuck these giants. We're going to take them out. Like, get your rock and your slingshot. Come on. And then,
I think it's
Come
more
on, he
just
said it like an Okie.
come on.
He was putting all the all you can eat buffets out of business. So David was really hired by like the Chinese restaurateurs.
What were you going to say?
I was just out in West Texas, and it's such an interesting landscape. There's so many pyramids out there, but there are also all these like what appears to be ancient trees that have been like severed at some sort of juncture. And so I was out there looking at them and thinking, if this really was this huge giant tree and they all existed at that time, you know, I think this was all underwater at some point. Like it would make sense. Like if you had that density and that height, like this entire area could be different than it is now. And so if you kind of think of it in that notion, like all these ancient trees got severed, and this, I don't know if tropical is the right term, but this tropical area in Texas that used to have an ocean and X, Y, and Z, and now it no longer exists. And we're so small and we exist on this 5 foot to 7 foot frame. And then all the resources dry up because the ancient trees don't exist. I mean, I could see how your theory could go on from there, that it would be easier for us to survive in hypotheticals like that.
But in that same idea, under the big trees, if there was big trees, they probably had big fruit, and then it was easy for everything big to eat. A giant wouldn't need to go, and like somebody wrote, like a giant probably took out all the buffalo, like little snacks. And then
But that
we
would
get
be like
blamed
maybe
for
eating
it.
a rat. So when they just
But
like,
yeah, it would be. They would be so pissed if they had to. But they used to have big, huge things because they had big fauna that, you know,
like
gave
woolly
life to those
mammoths.
big, huge things. And so it would be like everything under a canopy. Like when they had to go down to even eating us, they were like, oh, it would be like us being like, oh my gosh, we have to eat a spider monkey. And it would probably be equivalent, like where we watch that in Indiana Jones, where they're eating like a monkey brain. And we're like, I don't know, like even probably the moral equivalent, where it was hard, but it wasn't Chrissy Teigen. Like you weren't going, you know, full like, would you ever try a human?
That is the dumbest thing you could ask on TV. Like, really?
I know. That's why I think the whole thing, I'm like, it's so silly, all of it. But yeah, I think the fauna, and then it makes me wonder when I said big fruit, like I just thought of every tree being like, I don't know, a climbing tree. And then I thought of every tree in my yard actually has fruit on it. And I was like, oh my gosh, what about if the Garden of Eden was like a huge apple? Like, what if the big apple
What?
is
Big
actually the
mushrooms.
core of the apple from the tree of the Garden of Eden? Like, in the craziness of it all, like, what if part of the story wasn't meant for us? What if part of the religious story is we're involved in a subtweet? Like we're reading texts that have nothing
Well,
to
that's like
do with
Little
us. It's
Caesar,
about them.
right? That's like the post millennial thing.
What is that?
the
What's little
like
season?
revelation already happened, and that
Oh
Christ
yeah,
already came and went, and that like we missed the bus, millennia ago.
But what about but I never even thought about all the giant tree theory being like fruit trees, because then one apple could feed all of us.
I want to say
They
you're
also have-
lucky in the sense, though, that Florida has female fruit-bearing trees because it's a government op that the government only plants male trees, which is why we all have so many allergies, because they're not fruit-bearing and they don't want to feed their citizenry, so they no longer plant fruit-bearing trees for us.
Yeah.
What about the big mushrooms? With all that, moisture, I'm pretty sure they had different types of species that existed way back when that we no longer have now. They also have
Better
them
be
fossilized
huge.
too, yeah. What's that place called? Like the fossilized mushrooms, or like rocks that look like mushrooms somewhere on this planet, apparently.
That's new to me.
Yeah.
Well, I think of all the different cave
find it.
formations. Like they have some of them, they'll have what they call bacon because it looks like slabs of bacon, or the different things that they call the different formations. And I wonder if that was, instead of just like drips from stalactites and stalagmites, what if that was like calcified or whatever,
Giant meat.
mushrooms or meat, yeah.
mushrooms. And the way they
Wasn't
say
there
that
people-
Himalayan salt is giant meat.
Yeah, well, because I think that the Titans are a real thing. I think the giants are all over the earth.
Those are dicks.
Mushroom Rock State Park. Giant
let's show 'em dick
mushroom.
pics.
Where is this? Valley of Dreams in New Mexico.
Have you guys seen this
Greece.
article that scientists engineer a single tobacco plant to produce 5 powerful psychedelics at once? DMT, psilocybin, 5-EMO, DMT plus bufo. You could probably say all these and roll them off your tongue, Thomas. But when I saw this, I was like, uh-oh, Thomas is like, new experiment.
Who's taking this synthetic shit?
I don't know.
Not I.
Thomas, would you try it?
I really don't have any qualms against especially this type of synthetic, because this isn't necessarily being made from precursor chemicals in a lab. I mean, it is being made in a lab, but they're still putting it inside of an organic medium.
Huh. I think it's so curious.
Have you guys watched
I
that
think
movie
that's so hard.
Synchronic? About it's about like people who go into like a smoke shop and buy like a certain like manufactured man-made psychedelic.
Oh, the K2 stuff?
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Synchronic. It's so good. It's like it does the whole timelines and everything. Like it's
like a bunch of different mushrooms together.
It would be crazy if they put that chemical in chemtrails. But you know what? Then it makes me think they could be putting it in chemtrails.
That was
They're like-
what Operation
No
Big
wonder why
City.
we're all like
What one, Thomas?
Operation Big City, I think. That was one of the many ones during 1950s where they were just going to dose the entire population either with LSD, either by strapping it to little like vaporizers under cars and just driving around cities, or unleashing it in like the subways.
What?
That is
Driving
so
on
crazy.
LSD?
Like they would have a car,
done it.
it would have some sort of an emitter like on the bottom of the car, so as they drove around the street it would be spraying LSD up into the air, so that if you were just like on the street corner and a car drove by, you just got dosed with LSD.
well during COVID, like there was all the
Meow.
footage of the
They would
like
never
lamp
do that
posts and
with
stuff,
the-
light posts with them spraying stuff, like, and I'm sure it wasn't LSD, but like it's
Y'all,
not far-fetched that they would
LSD
do that.
If you've never done LSD, or those of you who have, that is something like, I'm just really anti giving somebody drugs without their knowledge. And LSD, it will make you feel such a like, I can't imagine ever being on LSD and at least not having the thread back to reality that I know I'm on LSD.
Well, also imagine it the one step removed from that, that like at least you like now, even if you didn't know you were dosed, you could be like, oh, this is maybe kind of like LSD. If this is happening to you in the 50s, you don't even have a frame of reference for what's happening to you. You don't even know that LSD is a thing.
Yeah, damn.
In my crazy, like, worst part of my body where I felt like I was having my own personal near-death experience, I honestly had one part of it that I was like, I'm so glad I've done hard drugs and I know what hallucinating is. Like, I actually had a part of it that I understood what was going on with me, and I knew what hallucinating was, and I was like, gosh, this would be like, I knew how hard it was for me in the moment, but I had that thread back to reality of like, I think I'm hallucinating. Like
It should be a course in high school. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Or
I'm
everyone
glad I
should
did it. Oh, sorry.
hike a
guys.
high altitude and then have hypoxia and then hallucinate that way. Because I saw some crazy shit when I'm just at a high elevation, like the fairies, the faces in the rocks, like
Really?
tripping balls coming down Mount Whitney.
See, I've never been that high
Oh my
altitude.
man.
I've lived in the mountains, but
Like I would walk
what's
and
it called?
I'd see something ahead of me and I'd be like, that really looks
my Maria really hikes, y'all.
Yeah,
Like, she goes to the biggest mountains, like all in places in the world, but definitely in America, every one of the mountains that you name in your states, she's been to it and she's hiked to the top of it.
but man,
Sometimes she
fucking
drags
yeah.
her man, and sometimes she drags her
That's
dog.
bad
And
bitch
most of
energy.
the
I
time,
love
she
that.
just does it alone with peanut butter sandwiches. It's wild. Like, in one day, and people will be like, "Oh, you have to get to this mountain at this time to get off this mountain at this time because the hike is this amount long." And she's like, "Pisha."
don't worry about me.
Pish
I'm just gonna
posh.
do my own thing. But man, I was tripping balls at like a certain elevation, and I literally think I'm like, oh, that's the fairy den. Like, and as I
I didn't
walked
know that was a thing.
something, I would be like, I know I'm hallucinating right now. Like, I know that's not there. And then the closer I get, it wouldn't be there.
Well,
This is
Wim
the
Hof
first time I'm
breathing, like
hearing
you
of
induce
this.
hypoxia too. And so, like at first, I wasn't getting the hallucinations, but like after a while, like Wim Hof, one of his key phrases is "get high on your own supply," because you can literally get super high from just freaking breathing, and it's like it's orgasmic. It feels so good, and like the crazy shit I saw, like I kept seeing this black dot, and then I went into the black dot, and it's a spaceship, and it was like, what the fuck is even happening? It was awesome. It was amazing.
Yeah, I even think the rock faces, if you look at a lot of the ancients, it cultures all around whatever culture in the world, but I know definitely Native Americans, they would have parts where they'd take hikes in these places and they would see like the sunset at a certain time of the day or rise at a certain time or whatever, and it would make like the shadow of men's faces on the side or of a big deer or of a, so like what you're saying, like they would see these stories be told across it by the shadows and light and all the dance that it would do, and then that's where a lot of these places get their names from, where they'd be like, oh, that mountain, that's the old man, and you're like, why do they call it the old man? And then you see it at the certain time of day and you're like, oh snap. Like,
Do you think there's probably something
cool
in the air going up higher, like the different, like, all right.
Just less oxygen.
Something in the air reaching certain altitudes
You
that we
broke
don't
up
know
a
about
minute.
that they don't tell. Oh, did I?
You broke up a sec. Yeah, retell it.
Do you think there might be something in the air, the higher that you get in elevation, that could probably, make you hallucinate that we're not aware of and they know about and they don't want to tell us? Because we're not out there testing the air, but they tell us like, oh, it's just oxygen, but is it?
My boyfriend and I were having this conversation today. We were talking about the idea of CPR. I was watching Lost, actually. For any of my Lost people out there, I'm introducing it to him. It's like Charlie, the character's coming back, and they're trying to bring him back, and they're just CPRing him over and over again. We were talking about the idea that how interesting is it that, we're told that we breathe in oxygen, we convert CO2, but then here we are, and we're also told that the air is only what, like 17% oxygen or something like
Yeah.
that. It's almost nitrogen. But when you're giving CPR, you're blowing CO2 back into an individual rather than the great deal of oxygen that we actually take in. And that is reviving someone. And just how interesting that is that, like, you can just breathe into somebody like that, a lesser degree of what we're taking in, and that revives them. So I don't know. So the notion of like being at a higher elevation and that being even less oxygen than we have here. But I don't know.
It's like trees growing on bigger trees, if that's the story. If the story that is the mountains were big trees once, in the same way giants, if we're talking about these things, then at the top of the trees don't grow.
Well, didn't
Like you
Thomas
get to the
tell
line.
us in one of the episodes that oxygen is actually making us die
Oh yeah,
or
that's
something like that?
like even if we could figure out the key to like eternal life, like just oxygen is causing any kind of organic matter to decay over time. It will happen unless you have some way to constantly replenish, and that's the problem, is that over time that your body breaks down and it can't keep producing at the same consistency. Like as you get older, you just become more brittle, and I guess if you believe in DNA, there's all these you believe in DNA, that it like loses part of the recipe at a certain point, but the oxygen is really what's killing people. Like that's what causes you to slowly decay.
Well, that's where like the Wim Hof method, like kind of again going back to that. When you do it, you sit there and you hyperoxygenate, like you actually like you get almost high just from taking in like belly breaths. Like you do 30 deep belly breaths over 30 seconds pretty much. You do it kind of quickly, and then you exhale all your air and you hold your breath and you induce hypoxia so you can intake more of the oxygen into your bloodstream. And I'm telling you, it sounds almost crazy and everything, but he's done studies and stuff at universities where he's done like superhuman feats and everything and healed like from shots of E. coli and stuff. But it healed my shoulder. Like I had a shoulder injury where I couldn't even do push-ups anymore. I couldn't even do one without being in pain for like 3 weeks. And it hurt every day for like 4 or 5 years. And then I did the Wim Hof method where he's like, he talked about like concentrating on that area while you're doing this hyperoxygenation and then hypoxia, and immediately like my shoulder was better. Like one day I woke up and I was like, what the hell? It doesn't hurt. And then I could do hella push-ups, and then I became a bodybuilder. But I don't know that that's necessarily, I could see where it, could cause decay, but also it might extend your life.
But your statement is interesting, Thomas, and like the idea of like leaving food out and watching how quickly it decays when it's exposed to air.
Yeah, it's just called in like scientific terms is oxidization. And that's basically whenever you introduce organic matter to oxygen, it will slowly decay over time. It's just a chemical reaction that happens in open air.
So oxygen is not the thing. There's something like, I just think everything's a lie. And in my head right now, I'm like, I don't believe in snow. And so I'm like, this is how they're getting the oxygen here with the snow machines from the North Pole
in the
with
room with
Santa
Yeah.
Claus with Satan at the North Pole. And we're not allowed to go there. And that's why like, I'm just like,
so oxygen gives us life and then slowly decays us.
Yeah, over
time at the same time.
100%.
But isn't it weird? Like the umbilical cord has to be cut for you to breathe this. But until then, you have this perfectly good thing going to you. Like everything's perfect. And then you cut it and then you're like, no, you cry and you breathe oxygen. Oh, you missed it when we got at the beginning. And I should pull it back off again.
Well,
just for, did
Carbon.
you see, you can go back to it, Layla. I was just gonna ask LL if she saw Christy Gnome's husband's thing real quick. Did you see his whole fake tits? I'll pull up a picture of him.
Thomas is looking a little busty.
Evidently, I keep seeing the Pam Bondi, Christy Noam connection, that they've been friends for 30 years. And then Bondi's out. I think this is a very interesting humiliation ritual, for sure. You almost wonder, in like the chicken before the egg type of thing, like, was this information like on deck and they knew it was coming, so Trump fires her ahead of this information coming out? Or is this like, oh, I fired you and I'm releasing this information to like fucking humiliate you thereafter? I don't know. It's so interesting how close we're getting in the conversation of it being like socially acceptable. Like, this is just one more step closer to Bruce Jenner, like much more information than we had last time.
This one actually, it stands out to me as interesting because if it were, and I hate playing the red card, blue card, like this team says that white people talk like this and black people talk like that, it gets into that angle. But it's like, if this were democratic, it does seem that there would be some sort of support from a huge community, like, hey, that's not cool to be making fun of this guy for
let him speak his truth, like
he's speaking his truth. But the fact that it's a Republican and therefore he must be a closeted, weird fetish gay guy that's like hiding behind Jesus, then it becomes socially acceptable to like make fun of him for, look at how ridiculous this non-passing tranny looks. But again, if he had like a Obama shirt on, I don't know if you'd be allowed to like laugh at him and make fun of him the same way.
If he had a Kamala shirt on, shouldn't she be coming out like in? It's
if he had like a blue-haired wig on or something, or like a septum piercing, or
Or it just seems like, if part of when those first came out, I just felt like my brother could have stuck balloons in his shirt and sent me that same thing. Or like somebody, like a cousin could be like, oh, I'm getting a boob job. And my brother would be like, oh, look here's me. I'm so and like mock. It just, at first I was like, it didn't seem there was nothing about it that was sexy, that seemed fetishy. It just seemed like this is like somebody releasing private texts. And then there was like, oh, the like skin suit thing just seemed like something you'd buy at one of those Halloween stores. It didn't seem like it had like good quality or something. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know what people are into. It just seemed so silly. I was like, is this real? Even his face with his duck face every time with his saggy tits to the like far side. I was like, this is just okay. Like, he wants to be a lot lizard.
I think I think that the part of that aspect of it is just a complete sexual objectification. Like you are so comically engineered to just be a sex object that it's beyond obvious. Like, you're not even trying to be subtle about it.
Is Bruno so nervous?
No, he just woke up from a nap and he wanted to know where his mom was.
He looks so nervous on camera. Like, are we live?
He's so cute.
It's like, I don't want to look over, but are we live right now?
So we were talking about what we were breathing out.
Yeah, sorry, Layla.
Carbon dioxide. So carbon means fire. Oxide means acid. So it's like we breathe out acid to fire.
You have to do that, Abbie.
I don't like doing that one because I can never do it right. Oh, but I did it.
How do we breathe?
Because you know all the rules now.
No, I know the rules. It doesn't matter. I still do it wrong. First time I couldn't do it. So I did the thumbs
You
up.
had to make your pinkies touch, and then you had to tilt your hand right to the camera. And you were doing a Gen X heart. Remember, we learned all the other kinds of hearts that you could do?
Oh, yeah.
He was like, why are you doing it with all your hands? So why don't you just do it with your hands?
I don't think that works. Nope.
It doesn't work. No, it has to be your pinkies.
Oh, so you got to do a weird fucking...
Oh, who could do that? Now you're making Masonic hand symbols. Sorry, Layla, go on. That was all for Riggs.
Oh, no, that's it. It says carbon literally means fire, carbon dioxide to acid. So it's like fire acid, like we breathe out fire.
Well, the ox part means oxygen, and the ide part is the part that means acid.
Yeah, oxygen, acid, fire.
Oxygen.
When you do breathing, that like dragon breathing,
Bologen.
breath of fire.
Also means that the Ides of March is like the acid of March. Is there a sync there?
It's just weird that we breathe in one thing and convert it into something else. It's just wild, and it's like,
And I think it's interesting that it's like we only talk about oxygen being necessary for life, and it's 17% of the air. Like, where's the nitrogen discussion? And just interesting the way
It
the
must
things that
be
we're taught
kind of
growing up.
important too.
Or if
I
it's only
agree.
17% of the air, then the abyss is almost true, because how much of the percentage of the water is oxygen? So if you could teach your lungs to push in and out thicker, then you could go so deep.
Well, think about amniotic fluid. You know that babies, before they actually breathe, they practice breathing and they do breathe
That's
in
why I was
amniotic
saying
fluid.
at the umbilical cord, like all of a sudden the umbilical cord's cut and then they have to breathe the 17% oxygen. But if that's the only percentage that you need, then it's like, why couldn't you breathe oxygen if it's in a different form? And so then I don't know. It's just
Wait, though, that because like though you could watch on an ultrasound, you can see the baby's lungs expanding, and you can see the fluid go in and out of their mouth. Like they're actually literally like inhaling it. Their lungs are expanding.
that's so wild to me. That's so crazy to me.
it's crazy to me when I see fish breathe it. And then when a fish is on a boat, they're not like when I was a little kid, I thought, get it back into the water. Hurry, hurry, hurry. You don't have to rush. They're fine on the out. Like you can take your time to get the hook out of the mouth.
Then it makes me
Like you don't have to rip anything. You can take your sweet time. They're like fine there, breathing the 17% oxygen too.
It makes
It's
me
weird.
believe
Like
the
it can't be
dolphin story.
forever.
And the guy.
Well, the dolphins aren't even fucking fish.
Yeah, but like, what did they find supposedly in that guy's lungs who went under the ocean?
A little bit of seaweed particles.
Plankton.
And
Some kind of weird
yeah,
plankton.
we know it's a whole fake story, everyone. We know it's been debunked,
Sure.
everyone.
Yeah.
But what is really true is immediately after that story, dead dolphins washed up on the shore.
And seals.
The people that lived in the area from Mississippi all the way over to like mid-Florida on the Gulf Coast, they also saw a bunch of weird military activity that wasn't normal in the area. So I do think right after the story that breaks, this two things happen, and then it's that was a hoax. And it's so easy now to say everything's a hoax, that the craziest shit could be going down, that we're going to space. I would say a quarter of the humans on the planet think space is an ocean. And then there's this whole dolphin story going on, wanting to build a,
Watch the
underwater
waters.
city.
Turf wars with
crazy.
fucking dolphins.
I feel like we would
Like,
win that war,
well, I mean, how many just washed up on shore?
but they can't hold a gun.
No, but they're smarter.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
if you
what
can shoot
could
them
they
in a
do?
helicopter, they can be as smart as they want.
This is what they could
That's
do
why
to
sharks
us.
eat humans, and they're like savage about it.
Submarines and like ships, they could be the Bermuda Triangle. Like dolphins and a couple of whales, they could create something under any ship and make it do craziness until it went down. Like it might take enough of them, but it's the same principle as any kids in a pool. Like you can make a whirlpool, and so they can. That's how dolphins hunt, is they swim in a circle around schools of fish together, and then they dive through them. They don't try to chase after one fish. Dolphins have thought this out, and they work together like humans do to hunt. So I think that the same as these whales with these boats. Like all of a sudden, all these whales are just attacking these boats. Like,
I like
Curious.
Mutwa's take, that black priest who talks about the dolphins and the orcas and where they come from and all that jibber jabber. I don't know if you guys ever watched his videos on it, but it's pretty
he's the guy that
fascinating.
talks with like David Icke,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think part of his is that there was like a water planet, and the water planet gets close to the Earth, and then like some of the sea creatures can like jump, or their consciousness can jump into the creatures on our planet.
Mm-hmm.
haven't you guys ever seen Aquaman? He was like, and dolphins or different fish would come and do wild shit. Electric eels would be like, zzz, and shit would be like, oh, on a sub.
I just saw like Jim Carrey doing the fucking dolphin thing.
Well, don't the military use dolphins to like search for like bombs in the ocean and like I heard they also, if they find like people who are not supposed to be in the ocean at a certain time, they have these contraptions that they put on these dolphins to like capture people who are not supposed to be in the ocean in that territory or not whatnot. I forgot what this Russian doctor wrote about. I forgot his name. My brain. I'll remember eventually.
I love this right now with Fool because I just felt energy behind this. Ursula the squid, not octopus, because she only has 7 tentacles.
Oh, it's a squid?
It just made me like it had energy behind
I
it.
thought that one of them got chopped off, though, no?
But do squid have little... Yeah, they do. Never mind.
I thought squid had 8 too. I thought squid were squidopus. I just thought they were the same exact as octopus hanging out with 8 arms. I guess I could Google it right now in my magic box. Wonder Woman had help from dolphins too, not just Aquaman.
So did Tanit, that the goddess of the all-seeing eye, like the Phoenician goddess, that she was also like the consort of dolphins. And I think there's old currency you can find with Tanit on it of her riding dolphins on the back.
Hold on, let me find it. I love how everything's such a rewrite in the world. Is like there's a movie called That Thing now, or it's all the Disney Frozen method. So it's the first thing you put in. So every word, pretty much every word, even when I'm doing etymology digs, I'll put ancient goddess. I never put god because I know it'll spell correct to it, but it won't spell correct ancient god to goddess, but it'll always spell correct goddess to god. So I always put ancient goddess in when I'm doing research, and most of the time there's one.
Yeah.
What did you say? Tenant.
That's just your search logic. We'll have to work on your search logic so it pulls up a.
My robot.
Tell a funny story at some point when we're ready.
I think we're ready.
Yeah.
I was waiting. Yeah, I was gonna pull up a picture of Hermaphrodite because it says her name everywhere with Tenet, and I was like, weird that her name's Hermaphrodite. That's so close to Aphrodite. Yeah, you could tell a funny story. Are you gonna?
How do I bring this up?
I can share it
Just do
if
it.
you want.
Do it.
No. I'm here. One.
Really, she's here for one specific reason tonight. Thomas.
Thomas, I have to call you out.
Okay.
Are you on like what kind of Instagrammers are you guys in that? Like, I don't follow a lot of people on my Instagram because I like consume media on various accounts. So if you were to like pull my Maria up, like the people I follow are obviously like Chaney and stuff like that, but like those people I've literally not looked at in ages. Like I don't scroll that feed at all. I have. Are you about to get down? I have a Finsta account, okay, and that Finsta account has like.
Is that the name of a social network? Finsta?
Do you know what a Finsta is?
No.
Like a fake Instagram.
Oh,
Like
okay. I didn't know what that is now.
my little Finsta where I like do research. Nobody knows it's me. Like I follow all of you on my Finsta. Okay?
Oh, cool.
And that Insta, only Chaney is the person who knows it. And it's like nondescript. Like you would never know it's me. Had it for maybe 2 years. I do some of my best work on it. I have never had a follow request until about 2 weeks ago from a paranoid American.
Do you want me to pull it up or have you canceled this
I
account?
haven't canceled it yet. Don't pull the name up. You can pull my picture.
I won't pull the name, but I got to show you the picture.
So I declined it only for you to
Oh, I've
request
seen
it
that.
like 2 days ago. And I need to know how you made me. Because why are you requesting to follow Mama Louise twice on Instagram?
You know what's funny is that I get this complaint often where someone will
so
be
funny.
like, who the hell are you? Stop trying to follow me. Like, stop requesting. I don't know who you are. And it's because there's an Instagram, at least on Android. It'll show you. It'll be like, here's people that follow you. You should follow them back.
Do you follow the suggested accounts?
Oh, dude, I just hit every single follow back sometimes.
We had a full conversation, like just some random day. My Maria's like, hey, paranoid American just tried to follow Baba Louise. And I was like, what? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe he was just going through his suggested follows or something. Like, he knows the algorithm pretty well. Maybe
I got
he knows
a
how to
message
like
on my internal Slack that was like, you need to keep tabs on this
I was
account.
like, oh look, Paranoid American's my new handler this week.
That's exactly what I was
Louise's
saying.
new handler. So I decline it. I send you a message. I'm like, how do you know Baba Louise? You don't respond to it. I send you another message. How do you know Baba Louise? And then literally 2 or 3 days ago, you requested to follow it again. And I was like, I have to come on and have to look you and be like, get the fuck off my Finsta account.
That is so funny. It's so fucking funny.
Hey, you need to make a new Finsta.
By the morning, I will have a new identity. But Baba, like my Baba picture was the best. Okay.
Yeah. When I first saw it, when she came clean to me about it, I'm always impressed. Like, one of the things about my Maria, like, you know this if you follow her account, like, she's clever and smart and like she has her own pattern recognizing and her own bullshit meter and what have you. But she's really fucking funny in this way that it like it sets new bars for me all the time, and I think I've seen it all. And when I first saw this picture, I was like, who the fuck are you? That this, out of everything, like, my random brain would be like
how did I
let
reach
me
the
pick a Canadian. I'd be like, Canadian pilot 78, you know? Like,
how did I reach the
some
Dubai
crazy
algorithm?
Yeah.
Isn't that just Aziz Ansari, the comedian?
I don't think so. I don't know though. I
That's
never
not
seen
Aziz. No, that's Baba Louise.
Well, see, and I thought I was somebody connected. I know like a couple people from Dubai, so like I thought it was connected through that.
You don't have a lot to say for yourself in that tracks. So I'll just take this as my
I feel
new
like
handler. Thank you.
you've been outed and I've been outed, so we've both been outed. So it's equal now. We can go back to our handlers and let them know that it's like tic tac
Squared
toe.
away.
You're right. That was her Finsta. Okay, let's keep going.
Tell the CIA it is me. That shit is so funny though. I never even had it. I feel like that's where I feel really X generation, and where X is the new boomer is that I didn't know what a Friendsta account was.
Not
I didn't even
Friendsta,
think
Finsta.
Like
No,
fake
even if-
Insta.
Yeah, I never even thought, y'all, of having a fake account. Like, I've been just trying to chase the dragon of keeping an account for myself, that having like, it didn't dawn on me in any kind of way that I feel like where I'm like, okay, boomer.
I
know
have
what's
like 4
interesting?
accounts,
It's so
like 2 that I don't really follow people on either. I just kind of look at stuff, but my kids, they all do it. So you kind of like,
There's this girl on
yeah, that gives you an in.
TikTok who actually started her own account, but tried to get on the algorithm of what men are fed. in the algorithm. So she followed like all these sports accounts and like golf and this and that and news channels. And it was just feeding her the most bizarre shit of like men treating their women like shit, ass and titties everywhere, children, like the amount of children that show up on these feeds of these like red pill, like trad wife kind of like, it's just wild just to see like the algorithm that will set for women, for men, for kids. And it won't recognize your face, which is very interesting. Like to see that, wait, I know this face, it's actually female. Why is it searching only that? I don't know. It's just a take on like opening a new account and going on a certain algorithm and what it feeds you.
I think it's probably playing along too. It's like, oh, Layla wants to role play as a guy on social media. Okay, we'll show her guys. We'll show her ads for women that are role playing as guys, not necessarily ads that are for guys. So like you get your own little niche.
When I have like maybe 4 different TikToks, and when I get on my side one, like as soon as I scroll the feed, it's like, we know you're on your fake, and like it's one of those like somebody's made content that talks about how this is your side Instagram account. Wow.
Handler task complete.
God.
Rest in peace to Baba Louise.
And just my little nerdy head, that is a House of Sod specific, like whatever that is called. I was about to call it a tartar because I only am like Irish. Like it's there.
I don't know the name of that.
I don't know what it's called.
Thing.
Yeah. But I guess certain houses have certain prints in the House of Sod, and you have to be certain elite to be called a house. A House of Sod, that is theirs specific, that red and white checkerboard. So probably a Saudi Arabian gold salesman.
One of the good ones.
One of the good ones for sure. One of the good ones.
I keep hearing Gabby Barrett song every time you guys say that.
What is that?
It's one of the good ones. I don't know. It's love me like you should one. Like he wrote
I always just like to make people sing. Isn't it funny how when you have sporadic song, you're just like loud and proud, but when somebody's like, sing it, you're like,
don't make me do that. I have to sing everything in falsetto now, though, so I don't like to do it.
Oh my gosh. I like to belt it out. I've been listening to Huey Lewis in the news all week, and I'm like, this hits me in my, I don't even have to stress to sing this.
Mm-hmm.
But every Huey Lewis song, banger, banger, banger.
Do you listen to Huey Lewis in the news?
Yeah, I felt like American Psycho when I was listening to that song specifically. But his songs are all upbeat songs. So they all carry a specific tone, like tempo. So I'm like, oh, this is kind of the mood I want to stay in today. I was cleaning my house and shit. Little Huey Lewis in the news station, it knew what to do. Spotify knew what to do. Anyways, what else has happened in the world that you want to bitch about? Or this is the other thing I was going to ask you in all your travels. Do you think it's freaking crazy that we can't go into the Grand Canyon or any national park as much as we should be able to, or we have these time frames on these national parks? If there were portals that opened up on ley lines or something, we wouldn't know because you got to be out when the sun goes down. Like, do you find it interesting? Or?
Trump has done away with a lot of that stuff this year. But I'm on the lost train of things where I believe there are like pockets of electromagnetism that exist in reality. And this is a very Westworld situation where the government has commandeered this land, allows us to see like 0.5% of it, makes it a park out of it. I don't know. I think there are exquisite, beautiful things that exist, and there's a reason why the government owns all of them.
Are we anti park ranger? Like we should just get rid of park rangers?
No, not necessarily.
Why not?
I'm a little anti-border these days, but that's a different discussion. I don't know for me like what the threshold is of where I desire the federal government to get involved. because if I'm making my true argument, I think it should have no involvement whatsoever. But then you try to have this trade off of like the idea of like the FDA or regulation of food and that kind of thing. Like, does the government actually have the jurisdiction to do that? But do I want it to, perhaps? So national parks, like, I guess there is a duty. My boyfriend and I were having this argument the other day of like I don't think there should be any government involvement in things whatsoever, like the least amount possible. And he's talking about like fisheries and like things like that, where there is involvement to conserve, but who is the definer of the conservation and to whom does it benefit and that type of thing. And like, if people come in and deplete a resource, like, does your government have a duty to come in and try to sustain said resource? Like in the idea of like a fishery or a hatchery or whatever they're called or something like that. But I saw one line once that was like something along the lines of like, if we believe in parallel realities and reincarnation and stuff like that, like how many times have like you created, like when I go to these national parks and I awe and all of this stuff, like, am I so obsessed with it because like somewhere like I'm intertwined with this somewhere along the way? Like I'm coming back to something that I've created. I've been all over the place, but yeah, there's something fucking weird going on with it.
Maybe. I mean, if like our lives are like kind of a spiral and we're like, hitting these same moments in time and like reliving different experiences, maybe our souls have that too. And like we're like aligning on that timeline, and that's why you react that way. You probably onto something with that. If that symbol means anything, could also attach to that. Your soul being a spiral of
There's something though
many.
like about the phone to me and the idea of these national parks, and like as soon as you cross this threshold, your phone no longer works. And for a long time I was, obviously thinking about it from like the institution side, like, okay, we have this beautiful land, we have this duty to conserve, we don't want any cell towers here, like we're just going to make this blanket rule. But it's just so interesting to me that like literally as soon as you cross that threshold, sometimes it's just lights out with your phone, like no sort of like gradual down to like 1 bar or 3G or whatever it looks like. And so for a long time I was again looking at it at the institution limiting it, but then if I turn it around and I think of it more of like the lost electromagnetism, like something weird is going on here. Is it the land itself, the energy itself that's pushing out the cell phone, that's like preventing that from occurring, like the magic of whatever it is there, rather
Maybe
than
it's you. Yeah,
A lot of it too for signals is still based on line of sight. Like if you don't have line of sight, there's usually a much better chance that you're not going to get a signal. So when you're in like national parks, just because they haven't been decimated, you might be behind a big mountain or like inside a bunch of trees, like all of that actually will destroy your visibility to the satellites or the cell towers.
That was another interesting thing. So I went to Big Ben a couple weeks ago. I stayed for the first time. I like camped by myself. I normally don't do this because I'm by myself and it scares me. But I was able to connect to like the iPhone satellites for the first time. And it was so it gave me one satellite and it kept telling me. So it was like, hey, you'll be able to connect. The satellite's going to drive past you again in 4 minutes. And like, to think that I only had the ability to like connect to this one. And then once I did, my literal cell phone had to be pointed at it, like you're saying, like directly line of sight to the satellite at all times in order for me to maintain. So if in theory the satellite went to this direction, the iPhone would require me to point literally point my phone at it to continue to maintain the connection. And it's just so rudimentary in ways that I like did not.
Part of it makes me feel like you're deeper in taking advantage of some other system being able to map you during this time. So it's like, oh, we got one. She's connected. In 4 more minutes, now point it this way. And now point it this way. And it's like, now you're giving it this full, because you guys, we are just in the talks again about this, and this is making me nutty that you can't get service somewhere, and we are on our way to the moon, and there's no satellites in this picture at all anywhere, not even one, and you can't get reception anywhere, even if you're driving in a normal place. Line of view or not, shouldn't there be like an easier line of view? If you can see the sky can't see you.
What if
It's so crazy.
what if like in the whole simulation theory that you talk about, Maria, like if the tree falls and you're not there to see it, did it really fall? Is it like maybe like a glitch because not so many people are in that area, and it's like, oh shit, like someone's here, we have to give it connection, like the sim is here, like do you think that could
It's
be
not
part
highly
of that?
coded area.
Yeah,
If
like
I'm like rendering as I go and I'm the only one in the
yeah,
area, and it's like rendering.
Yeah, like on World of
yeah,
Warcraft, like
that.
way back when you'd have to like open up your map, like
This is
the
why
parts of the maps wouldn't be open to you until you actually go out and explore it a little.
I definitely felt like I was being tracked. So I was in Texas, I was in New Mexico, and then I went to El Paso, and I decided I wanted to drive all along the border because when I wanted to see what it was like what does this wall look like? What is this, the whole thing? I saw no wall whatsoever. I'm following the Rio Grande all the way down, and it's just the most beautiful. There's like the most beautiful mountain range in Mexico, like basically from El Paso down to Big Bend. No wall whatsoever. But there was border patrol everywhere, like in ways that I didn't necessarily anticipate, I guess. And I was unaware that there are inspection points on the interstate for everyone, regardless of your citizenship status. And I saw one at one point, and I didn't really think anything of it. And I am encountering one ahead, and I keep kind of like expecting it to be like one of those way stations over here, that it's like electable or you're pulled over in some way. And as I get closer, I realize that I'm required to go through this. And I immediately FaceTime Chaney, and I was like, I need you to get on the internet and like tell me what am I expecting, because like I have garden supplies that I just picked up in New Mexico in the car that are obviously very illegal in Texas. Freaked out. Of course, I'm a white girl with like my coonhound in the car. Like I was not targeted on this like whatsoever. They didn't care about the weed in my car, I guess, when they did the thermal scan as I went through. But I learned that in Big Bend, obviously here on the Mexico border, there are like 4 major ways to get out, and every place, every exit, there's one of these inspection points where everyone's required to go through it. So just like having this huge moment, like freaking out, like worried, am I going to get arrested? Telling Chaney where I'm at, not a big deal whatsoever.
That
so as I
seems a little
on the other end, there's all these like weird absurdist art installations around there. And I decided, I saw one, and it was the smallest Buc-ee's in the United States. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. I need to take a picture of Bruno. I do a U-turn real quick. In that time, I run something over that pierces my tire. And by the time I get back from taking my picture, my tire is deflated. Now, I didn't have the right tire iron with me. I find out, and I'm spend 2 minutes literally getting all my stuff out to start working on my tire, and the literal army shows up. US Army in like undercover trucks, and they get out and they're like, hi, we saw you have a tire issue, like we're happy to change your tire for you.
And then they were like,
wow.
is this your Finsta?
They're like, Mama Louise, is that you? But like I've been so worried about the unconstitutional inspection point, only to be happy that they were tracking me the whole time. And when they realized that I was immobile now, they immediately came to my rescue.
You're like, oh, what a good day to have a handler.
Yes, I was like, thank God my handler is here, because I do not have the right tire iron for the Forerunner with me right now.
That's honestly, that's how I view like when people say CIA handlers, it makes me think of the way that like a parent will guide their toddler to be like, let's let them play out in the yard, but also make sure they don't like walk off a cliff or something. You kind of like guide them like as like a child, you know?
Yeah, they have a set of rules. You want them to get somewhere in the game, but you can't necessarily do everything with it. So they're like, oh, we cannot have her die right now out in the middle of nowhere.
Just curious.
Like, what should we do? How should we go about it? Like, let's just send us all in. It'll be just as crazy.
Do you know what day you popped your tire? I'm just curious because I popped my tire like like the 27th. So I'm just curious if you know, because that would just be weird.
No, it was earlier than that, but it was probably the 11th or the 12th of March.
Okay. It's like, I haven't done that since I was like 17 or 18 and just did it last week.
That's I think about it once every long trip that I'm, even if it's just like over an hour, once every time over an hour, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad my tires are all good in the moment. And then I'm like, don't think about your tires. Like,
Don't get
it always
this because.
And then I had a lawn company for a little while, and when I got it, I had gotten some of the pieces of it from my brother, and he was like, let me tell you a tip. He's like, any mower you ever get, go and get these tires, and they never pop. And I was like, what? And he's like, they'll be so much better on your mower, they never pop. And I'm like, why aren't all tires like that?
Seriously. Stupid.
And they're like a tubeless tire or something. They don't have air in them. And so and it was perfect for all my mowers always. Anyway, do you guys have anything else you want to discuss about this crazy simulation this week?
I think they're doing fine. Good job on the simulation. Solid 6.5 out of 10.
Stay away from my Fensta, Thomas.
You're seriously not even like the third person that's complained about that exact same thing.
They're like, how did you find me?
I just let Insta do all the work.
And I was like, I'm going to be real with you. Thomas does know a shit ton about computers. So if anyone wanted to like do digs and find all of our accounts and then just harass us, it would be
I got
Thomas.
your IP address. I know it's you.
Yeah, but then I'm like, but it could just be likely that he's messing around with the algorithm. I'm like,
also,
okay, I'll behave.
Instagram is dirty and like these suggested type things. Like, I don't know how you guys probably don't still have Facebook, but there's an argument, there's a conspiracy theory that on Facebook, when sometimes it'll show you people you may know, and those people are people who have actually been looking at your profile. And so they suggest it back to you. So they're kind of telling you like who's creeping on you without telling you who's creeping on you. So I think it's the same notion here on Instagram with the suggested user. So Baba Louise literally follows a very small amount of people because I'm following all my friends. They don't know about it. So when I look at your all's profiles, then you are getting a suggestion regarding.
Hey, Baba Louise is scanning on you.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the benefit of the doubt that I'm giving Thomas, even though like really, he was.
I appreciate the benefit of the doubt. I'll explain it as far as I can.
When really Thomas at some point was like, she popped her tire in Texas.
Mama Louise is in Texas, send in the army.
Connected to the satellite.
Yeah. That's what we always call Thomas.
Yeah, we got to make
like Charlie's Angels. Like, we're like, okay. Like, okay with it. Like, tell us the next mission. You want us to off the queen? Got it. Got you. And you don't even have to say it that way. I was gonna, the moon mission is halfway through. Do you think that there's anything, the dark side of the moon? Like, do you think they should have sent one of these fuckers to photography school for a year? Like, don't you want your dark side of the moon, your backside of the moon? Don't you want it to be better than China's? Like, don't you want it to somehow have an Earth eclipse and be like the first ever? Because I think that's what the next week
All I'm
of
hearing
time is
is
going to give
butthole
us.
when you say dark side of the moon, and then like you have the donut up there.
I put it there for
The
Donut
butthole.
because everything with his Illuminati toilet and that I keep seeing it everywhere and that like he's like, oh, the king, the whole thing with the king, Trump's golden toilet. There's people putting stuff about like space, like black holes are all like toilet representation. Like who the celebrities that died on the toilets. And you know, like I've read enough of the stuff that I see it in places now. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is actually like a thing. And then Tracy Twyman has part of it in her book. And look how long ago Tracy Twyman, like, so it's just like, oh my gosh, they're actually, this one has legs, no pun intended. Oh, look at, yay. Woo woo. So you guys, if you don't already, make sure that you follow Donut and you can check out his links that he's putting together for it, because I feel like I see it everywhere too now. And then they just put out a whole story about the chick, like they're not letting this toilet story go. There's a toilet malfunction. And then there was like, she's the first female plumber in space. Like everything's the first thing. And this is a real story that came out like just in the last few hours. And so
this is actually one of my favorite aspects of like the space narrative is that there's going to be so many firsts of all time, right? Like for example, this was the first, like who's the last person that used the toilet in space? They're the first person in history to blow up a toilet in space, right? Like that, like they actually have that credit to them. And that's the other cool thing too, is that now it's going to be like, who's the first one to commit a petty crime in space? Who's the first one to commit a murder in space? Like all these like really easy low hanging fruit. All it would have taken is one person to stab someone else in the neck with like a pen on like when they're out in orbit, and you become famous for infinity. You become the first murderer in space ever, and then no one can ever really take that away from you.
Of course,
So I kind of,
Thomas. You gotta go
I
dark.
like, but I know you could be like, just as that's where she's like, I'm the first female plumber in space. Like she's like
I'm the first
doing the
one to
girl
be jumping
pose.
jacks while saying the alphabet backwards in space.
But isn't the squad even interesting in that Fantastic Four-way where they were like, we're going to give them a Chad, white guy. We're going to give him the black guy. We're going to give him the like first lady. It's like the cutout of the characters that you need. So you're like, and this is how Disney writes it to hit all of the socioeconomic, like all the groups, so that they're all like, oh, the first Protestant in space. Oh my gosh, I'm the first Catholic in space. Like, I don't know. It just seems like very, like rewriting The Little Mermaid
It's very
or something.
looshy. It's all loosh.
Yeah.
You know?
Even the idea
feel-
of
do you
shitting
think-
and peeing
Do you
in
think in our
space is
lifetimes
just weird.
we get Big Brother in space?
Fuck.
Look, I feel like Andrew knew he was going to trigger me right now by bringing up Christ cock being the first plumber in space. Like Christ cock
Christ in a cock.
during the resurrection, we have Christ cock going around Artemis like an insurrection, like an inception ritual. An inception ritual
Around the
I feel like
moon.
this donut here is so funny. I'm like, I need to make more graphics.
I wanted
than
to do
empty
that.
spot.
I reached Steph. I was trying to do that. Now I realized, okay, that's on her screen, not mine.
That was a bit much. Sorry, everyone. That was a bit much. It was a bit nasty.
Double finger.
Yeah, it was a bit much. You got to take your time with her first.
Do you think also that they can't have Artemis land on the moon because that would be like girl on girl, so that you would need to have Apollo actually enter the moon because it's like the male energy needs to interact with the female?
We got Christ in a cock. We got the male energy, right?
Would it be awesome if she was transgender too?
Christ. And
First
well, I feel like they
transgender
also
in
have the big
space.
rocket.
Yeah, that'll be a big one. The first transgender in space.
Yeah.
First, but
A
yeah.
big step
They'll
for
have to send a
humanity.
gay up there first before they do. You know what I mean? It's a tiered system.
Yeah, like Gail King. Because isn't that whole space flight of, like, some people say that entire group of the space flight, like those are all trannies. like the whole Gayle King
Well,
group.
it has to go white guy, white woman, black woman, gay, trans, and then anyone else is allowed after that.
Yeah, and even you have to do a gay man before you do a lesbo. Like it's a hierarchy of things. And then like yeah, it was a while before we were like, "Oh, and this is a black gay woman." Cuz then we're like, "Oh, okay." Like I think you had to hit black gay woman before we were like, "Okay, let's put the tutus on the men."
You know what you're not going to see for a while though is probably fat people in space. Like you can't really
It's too
be
much.
what is it, like body positive and also be an astronaut. It's just not. It's not made for that. It's like
Well,
Japan.
I felt bad at Dollywood. Like I was watching a obese man with his son, and he couldn't get on the roller coasters and ride them with his son. I was like, that's
Which is
not
ironic because
heartbreaking.
that's the exact part of the nation which should have bigger seats on their rides.
Oh, is
But-
it?
But Dolly Dolly does seem like herself, if they brought it to her at a board meeting, she wouldn't go for bigger seats on her roller coasters. Like Dolly doesn't like she's okay with the gays, but it doesn't she's like, "All right, sister, I'm not going to you still have to buy 2 seats at my concert if you want to take up that much room."
But haven't we taken such a like stance against the fatties seemingly, like in the sense of like we were going to a place where we were at like a third of America having obesity and leading to diabetes, and we kept talking about for years and years and years what we were going to do with that. And then we've got like fucking Gila monster venom on tap for everyone in existence now, and like the fatties will not exist anymore.
Well, isn't it so funny that everybody's singing about body positivity yesterday is all on the venom, and
Yeah.
body positivity is out the window. Like looks maxing is the other side of it, and look how quickly that has gone. And so it's like body positivity is shoo, and people are like, "Oh, heart disease, like everything that you have going on with being fat is deadly, but this is better." And then I'm like, how we were talking about we're humans just taking oxygen and developing into this. I'm like, what do they want us to have insulin and venom in us? Like, does it do something to us for them? Like the giants, the Nephilim, like, are we processing something? Like, are we sweeter with insulin? Because they want all of us to have insulin in us of some sort.
Well, Cornelius Agrippa, I think, talks about like the idea of like getting genes from lizards because they live longer. And then when you take that or consume that, it adds to that part of you. He goes into it with different species and turtles, why they would be interested in like taking the turtle. Why does it live so long? What can we take from the turtle to incorporate it in magic for longevity of life? And there's probably something to it. But
The
in
same as
turn-
Thomas with all of his adrenochrome thing, all of those same people with the insane asylums, they all have Galapagos tortoises at these insane asylums all over the world. Like they all have them. So it was just so crazy to me. I feel like you might have been the one that said it, like they were studying everything for longevity of life and like curing these ailments that they were finding in them. But the Galapagos turtle specifically they're like the oldest species on the planet. They're like 200 years old with no natural cause of death.
Well, wouldn't you think that the Fountain of Youth would actually be somewhere near the Galapagos then?
Well, interesting. We have a whole like structure here in 38 in Rosemary Beach. You could even search it on the computer. It's this weird like it's architectural, it's beautiful, it has gears, this whole like waterway path that comes on 2 ends, and then like I guess 12 or 9 rows of these eggs with those tortoises like hatching from these eggs. It's very weird, and it's all tied to the water and longevity of what you were just saying, Abbie. I don't know. There's something to it, the symbol of it all. Supposedly.
Lizards are smart as fuck too, y'all.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna tell you, I have an agama lizard, which is like kind of an invasive lizard, and it's slowly creeping up. I don't have it in my house. It's not my pet. It's just one of my yard things. And other Floridians will shoot them with BB guns, but I just don't. I'm like invasive. What's that?
Those are the huge ones, right?
ones with the big red heads. Like they're not the ones that are in the Keys right now that you hear them slapping on the road when they run like fat little pigs. They're like slap, 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 slap. You can hear them running everywhere. But they are big lizards. And this one I chased out of my yard for like a few months, and then I read some more research on him, and I wasn't as upset about him being in my yard because I'm like, okay, he's not going to hurt this. I sit on this stoop at the front of my house, and this thing's all warm as shit. I love sitting there. This lizard started taking a shit on where I sit every day, every single day. At first I was like, what animal's leaving this? Like, is the
What a
rabbit doing
fucker.
this? Because I have rabbits. I have all sorts of little creatures around. And so I was like, who's doing this? It was Nagama. What is that?
I just wanted to
Layla?
show you. That's the thing that I was just telling you about.
Oh, the egg thing? Wow. Oh, yeah. I remember that. I
Feels
remember.
like occulty in a sense. Yeah, like look, it's like two colors streams with the things.
It looks like an eye in the center.
Fascinating.
The architecture here is sick.
So nice.
Where's this?
38 Rosemary Beach. Just wait till you see the eggs. It's just so wild.
I'm telling you, this is like a gear.
Put this bigger.
I'm trying to like these.
I'm telling you, in architecture, you should know this. Everything means something.
Oh my God. Hold on. Where'd it go?
Boobies.
Sorry, guys.
Just kidding.
It's right here.
Like, it all means something. Like that? This is random.
See that?
Are we allowed to step on this?
Like, why? Why is this there?
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna show my.
And that's it.
Yeah. It's totally.
Why it's there in the middle of this town? There.
Very
I don't know.
planetary. Very Coral Castle stuff. There's a lot of crazy shit though. That's in Florida too?
Yeah, where I work, Rosemary Beach.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of crazy stuff around. Do you guys have anything else that you want to bring up?
Oh yeah. Brian from the Backstreet Boys, he lives in 38 and they're trying to boycott him and get him out of the neighborhood because he's been like harassing people who come onto the beach. Yeah, I swear to God, like he's like a little fucking bitch, honestly. Like this guy was sitting where the wet sand is, and apparently on a private beach, you can be on the wet sand. He comes like into this guy's face and like literally scares the shit out of him, and like he knocks his phone and he gets in his. Everyone wants him out. Like they want him out. Now everyone's like going there like on purpose. Like the cops can't do anything when there's like 50 to 100 people there just trying to like piss him off now. So they're all parking, even on his like parking in the sand on his property where it's private. They don't give a fuck.
This is a big, huge Florida thing that's been going on for a long time. And where it's like some rich person comes in and they're like, that's my beach. And enough Floridians eventually are like, no.
No, sorry.
It's like all over. It's the whole coast, I think.
Yeah.
This is like a constant problem where even Disney has their resort, and it's like the Disney beach security, they don't want to go up to their guests even and be like, can we see your can we see your room key? Can we see your room key? Like,
It's a fucking beach.
There's a show right now. I think it's on HBO or something called Neighbors, and it's just about a bunch of random like surreal neighbor, like issues where they're not shooting each other like the bad ones, but they're just people that are beefing with their neighbors. And that's one of the episodes is actually has that beach where the Backstreet Boy guy is on, and it's wild because there was like some lady there that has made it her life's goal to just like use this beach where they're telling her that she's not allowed to, and they made an app that tracks exactly where the tide's at, because I guess apparently depending on where the tide's at determines where the public is allowed to be on like any kind of beachfront before it becomes private property. So people will like get a little app that's like, oh, you're allowed to be like in front of this guy's like house now for the next 3 hours while the tide's at like such and such or whatever. So like they're actually using the intricacies of all these different laws against the guys that are owning the beach, and it's like turns it into like a whole extra level.
Russell Brand has his house right near, what's his name? Brian? He doesn't give a shit if anyone's on his private beach. He doesn't give a shit.
That's
whatever.
that GIF that everybody sees everywhere. That's from that TV show, Neighbors.
Did you ever? Oh no, that one is the scripted one. The Neighbors HBO show I'm talking about is like a weird documentary show about actual neighbors that are having problems with each other.
That is. Oh, okay. That's a different one because there's another whole one that's like Florida Man, and it's all stories of like.
It's very similar to Florida Man because
I feel like I watched them both in the same sector.
100%, yeah.
I commented on his post where it's just brand new and he had like very few commenters on it. It was like, get out of 38 and remind Nick Carter that we remember what he did to Aaron Carter. Just relay the message.
That is so true. I think about he's bathtub death. If like toilet was one kind of like whole ritual and symbol and everything else, bathtub's another. And so I always think of Aaron Carter with that. And I know people just die doing things, but I just also think like for celebrities, there's a lot to it. And Aaron Carter, that shit is dark.
Yeah.
Really dark. That shit is so dark. Like the whole Carter family, and you just wonder what those parents were up to with all those kids. Like, I don't know. You just hear stories about, you know, it's not like parents are just abusing kids. Sometimes just people come and pick kids up and bring them back after the weekend's over. And that is like a story of a lot of elite children. Where they're just like, I don't want to end it on that though. That ain't good. I know. I don't know if my Maria will come back or not. I don't know if she had to walk Bruno, Mr. Bruno. It's kind of fun though. She adopts old dogs after her dog died. Her goal now is to just adopt old dogs and then take them on road trips of their whole life.
That's
because
amazing.
That's all she does is take these big, huge trips and hikes and things. So she just wonders if when dogs look out the window, if they're in awe ever, like if they see a mountain in the distance and they're like, oh my gosh, you know, like
they probably do.
Like stuff like if a dog that grows up on the beach or dogs when they all see the beach for the first time, like when you see them, they're like, you just almost can hear a dog scream freedom the whole way down the second it hits the beach.
All the smells too is probably so much more than, because like when you're driving by mountain ranges and you see a bunch of like plants and flowers and trees and stuff, it's just like, oh, you know, I don't know if I've seen that kind of tree before. But for a dog, they're probably smelling like every different new animal and plant and everything that they've never smelt before.
And Thomas, it is really fucking funny. You do not know how funny the conversation was between me and my Maria. Like the texts were funny. And then when we actually got on the phone and she was like, what? Did Thomas make me? What? And so even in this thumbnail, I was like, okay, I'm going to put Baba Louise on our thumbnail. So it just became a whole stupid, funny thing. But My Maria is going to, for any My Maria fan, she is going to try to podcast more. She has her stuff set up in her house and blah, blah, blah. And she always said, if you listen back to her oldest episodes, she always said, one day I'm going to fall in love and you guys are never going to see me again. She always said that. And that's kind of in her life right now. So that's another reason too. Like, you know, she on her own time, was like, oh, I have to reclaim my own time again. I can't be podcasting right now. If you guys know, total sidebar, hard segue, non-segue. if you guys know Nick Hinton at all, I just thought this was so interesting of a thing. You can follow him. He has some interesting posts, but when the White House shared cryptic pixelated images, remember the movie Pixels came out and it was about aliens invading Earth after they interpreted pixelated images as a declaration of war. And I just thought it was like, oh, yeah, that is what that movie's about. So I just thought that was a clever
It was
post.
an Adam Sandler movie, wasn't it?
I think so. So many of those crazy video game movies came out at the same time. There was like Good Guy and Pixels. And yeah, I think there was 4 guys in it. It was like a buddy. It was the same amount of people that are going to the space station. Let me look up the 4 main characters of Pixels because it'd be so funny if they fit the same cast. Like
there's a Christina Cocklock.
Cocklock. Characters. Pixel movie. My brain's turning off. Pew 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 pew. I feel like, oh my gosh, this is the main characters of Pixels. And I was thinking about for the space station too, Thomas, when you were saying that, like a fat person probably won't ever go to space. I was thinking like, well, wouldn't it behoove them to have like jockeys instead of normal sized people at all? Then they could fit 1 extra person on this whole space station.
Yeah.
Little people.
Yeah, so it's like, but look at
Pygmies in space.
here's the main characters of Pixels.
No. Is that real?
Yeah, I swear.
So they have a fat person in space.
Yeah, they have the fat guy, they have Adam Sandler, the lady, and then the midge. And he is the midge. Like, there is no other midge of this decade.
He put everyone else out of business.
Yeah, like if you even have a midget written in your movie, or little person written in your movie, you're like, oh,
Better have Peter Jensen.
do I picture Dinklage in this role? Let me change this lady to a man so Dinklage can play it. But Pixels. Anyways, anything else, you guys, before we Good Friday? Now it's 4/4.
Yeah, no, my brain is shot. Spring break, Passover. You know. It's a fucking movie. We have Atlanta in town.
Thomas, do you have anything fun going on this week?
I do, actually. In addition to the Chaos Twins project, I'll announce that once we've got it ready. Like everything's good to go. Now we just got to. I just got to coordinate with Sam on when we're going to launch it. But the one that I'm going to be running solo is my next Paranoid pamphlet, which is at satanicpaniccomic.com, and it breaks down the satanic panic of the 80s and 90s, and it traces it back through the 70s, 60s, 50s, 1850s, all the way to like the 1650s of like the origins of the first and kind of what I would say is like an ever growing constant satanic panic that's always been here. It didn't just happen in the 80s and 90s. It's always been here, and it just kind of goes through different phases. And the latest phase is basically QAnon adrenochrome. But I put together a nice little presentation of how this organically evolved over the last like 2 or 3 centuries. So that'll be the next big project. You can sign up right now.
Was the Salem witch trials kind of like another satanic panic?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the Salem witch trials. But even the very first Puritans that got off of the boats, allegedly, and saw the Native Americans, whenever they saw a new culture, that was also Satan at work. So the concept of satanic panic happened the first time a European got off of a boat.
Oh, because it was already starting to spread that's what my history right now is so into like the Tudors and their whole dynasty and how much the Catholic Protestant whole thing and what they really felt different. And it was really like an argument about the route to God, like the sovereign to God. Like this is the whole entire fight. It's
and
wild.
that it was basically like when Bush and Kerry were running for president against each other, but they're both in Skull and Bones. It was like Bloody Mary and Queen Elizabeth are running
Same.
against each other, but they're freaking sisters. Like they both have the same dad, and
Yeah.
that this is where John Dee came from. That John Dee was actually under the employ of Bloody Mary, Mary Tudor. But and then Mary Tudor imprisoned her sister in the Tower of London, and then John Dee works in the Tower of London, and then he ends up becoming friends with her imprisoned sister, Queen Elizabeth. It's crazy because it just sounds like a Netflix scripted show. It's like really like they couldn't have shopped out the script to someone and come up with a better story. Like this is the story.
It's so Game of Thrones. Everything about it is like, what? But there's so many cousins, and that was pretty much what it was. If you had a daughter, she was good for marriage, so you could marry her off and get another piece of property or some kind of business deal with your family. And if you had a guy, you could maybe pass on your lineage to him. But the whole rule is once he was strong enough to take over, he usually would off you first. Like, it's wild. And then Henry VIII comes in and he's like, Church, you know what? I don't think you're going to tell me what to do anymore. And just start cutting his wife's heads off. Like crazy. And he has other kids. I don't know. It's a nutty thing, but the whole reason I've been so into it is because with the Vatican and the royals, that idea of Israel and New Israel has been around so much longer, like hundreds and hundreds of years longer than just that creating the Holy Roman Empire again, that was the whole original. They were like, we're going to create this from the Bible. And so it's just so crazy. Like, oh my gosh, like we are on a big, huge loop. Anyways, so Chaos Twins, Thomas, I didn't mean to interrupt you during all that.
You can sign up for Chaos Twins, but the other one to sign up for definitely is at satanicpaniccomic.com. Chaos Twins, I'm sure once that's live and Sam helps promote it, it's not going to need my assistance, but I definitely need assistance with the Satanic Panic comic.
I am excited, and I'm excited. I want to talk about Mary Poppins next week a little.
All right.
All right, you guys, we love you so much. Thank you guys for hanging out until the end, and we will see you very, very soon. Okay, bye-bye.
Can you save us, Britney Spears? Can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunning linguists, good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically, good guys. Conspiracy, sex, culture, Jamaicans, it's okay to change your thinking, good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys. The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunning linguists, good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically, good guys. Conspiracy, sex, culture, Jamaicans, it's okay to change your thinking, good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys.
You want the bamba? You want to cheer with the big boys? Some of the move kitty kitty with the herb to cut the other map and the drunk up. Ah, hey, let me see how the thing goes.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.